Okay, no more chant. Fucking wonderful. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. Every time. What a night. What a fucking night. I don't get how that is crashing my computer. I don't get it. It's not even like a intense game. How is it so poorly made? How is that possible? What the fuck? What the fuck? Ugh. You don't stream with two PCs? No. Maybe I'll start though. Jesus fucking Christ. Thanks a resub zombie, shoe, and crescent. God, that's frustrating. What happened to his PC? It's just old, man. I don't know. It's been getting worse though. Gotta get the Starforge in. Because this is getting like unusable now. First Bayonetta 3, now Chant. Christ. Yeah, I'm absolutely gonna get like an actual computer now. I thought I could still write out the old one for a while. I didn't think it was like necessary, but clearly that was the wrong call. So yeah. Now let's get a Starforge now. Now's the time. Right now all the Starforges though have gone to the warehouse. Fucking beautiful. And I thought I'd be fine just writing this one out for a while, but no sir. Thanks to resub Knob, Tedium, and Jordan. And Dunkus. Thanks to gift sub entitled. And the resub Jordicat. Yeah, match 2 just ended. I got to catch the end of it. No, we're not playing Chant. I don't know what it is about it, but it is crashing the computer. So no, we're not playing Chant. I think it's the Prime. Nika. I think it's the resub Alice. Seems like a game with a cool speedrun. How? Everything's extremely slow. And there's no like movement tech or anything. I can't imagine there's a good speedrun for it. He's a Prime Arnold. And Taquinos. Will we sit here in silence now? Well, till this comes back on, they're on an ad break. I mean, I could play the ads, I guess, but I figured, what's the point? They have 3 more minutes of ads left. Any weekend plans? Not really. How many matches do they play? Oh, they play 6 matches today. Man, I cannot believe that shit. So we're just gonna sit here and not play games? What are you talking about, man? It's a Moist Esports night. ALGS just started, so we're watching that. But yeah, I mean, we played Nick Slime Racers, but the chant is asking too much. Oh, I'm not going back into Guardians of the Rift for RuneScape. I'm grinding mining now. I have 99 to rune crafting. I'm done with that. Fuck the pet. I don't need to get it. Thanks, resub, bruh. Man, my tummy is making some weird noises. Did you eat something weird? Yeah. Tiana got sour gummy worms for her coworkers, and I couldn't fight the urge to have a couple sour gummy worms, and I think they're down there just going to war. That's my guess. Thanks to the resub delaxing. The tier 1 Zamos. Do gummy worms have the laxative effect as well? I thought it was just the sugar-free gummy bears. I didn't know sour gummy worms had that too. I think it's only sugar-free? Okay. Then yeah, it should be fine. I don't believe those were sugar-free. Things that give subglass. And the resub Nate. Did you ever check your final Guardians rank on the leaderboard? No, I forgot to. It's like 150 something though. It'd be like 151 after all the extra runs I did of the Rift. What are you grinding for mining? Oh, just Motherload, and I'm 92 mining. This is much quicker than Guardians of the Rift for rune crafting, so this won't be too bad. You tried playing New World? Played it on release. I did not like it. I really didn't enjoy it at all. Thanks the bits, Paracosm. No idea, Paracosm. Probably not much, though. Yep, match 3 is about to start. You gonna play Sonic Frontiers launch day? I am. It comes out the day before God of War, so I'm gonna do my best to beat it on day 1 somehow, but we'll see how that goes. I'm not optimistic. It's like a 12-hour game. Sleep well, Scar. How come you never turn your sign on back there? I do. I just haven't recently. Thanks for the bits, Jay. Oh, that sounds about right, yeah. It seems like it's more of a chant thing, but still shouldn't be happening. And that's not up to me. You could ask Caleb, though, if he wants help. Because, yeah, he hasn't really been posting on it much. Thanks, you said Wes. Oh, I hope it gets better soon, Wes. Thanks, you said Coyote. What's happening? Just waiting for match 3 to start. And thanks for 5 gift subs, Cosmic. Appreciate it, man. What's our rank? I'm not sure. Let's see. We're 5th. So here. Right now we're 5th, right behind Northside. Valiant is number 1. Valiant's been going real hard, actually. I got a 17 kill dub in game 1, so that was rough. But Moist is doing well on kills. It's just the placement's not popping yet. We'll get there, though. We got game 3 coming up. Are we going for first? Is there a minimum placement to qualify for something? I don't know what the minimum placement is, but obviously winning it would be best. I don't remember how many from each region make it to the world stage, like the big championship stage for the ALGS. I don't recall. But yeah, obviously taking first would be ideal. Here we go. Game 3 started.
a 40-team ALGS system to a 30-team ALGS system. I think it's definitely one of the improvements that I was interested in seeing happen.
All right, where are we dropping?
The team went through with that because not only that, it just means we get higher quality games, and it means, I mean, look, you know, there's still Challenger Circuit and all that kind of stuff, right? So those teams still have a place to prove their worth. They still have a place to play.
We're over here
in high-level competitive play. It just makes it that little bit harder if you want to get on the main stage, if you want to get here on the Longshot broadcast.
Look, it shouldn't be easy, I don't think, when you're at the top end of the competition to make it. So
it's 5 from APAC. Okay.
And I like the fact that it gives us better quality lobbies on a more regular basis as well. I think that's a positive change. So Valiant, we talked about them a little bit at the start of the last round, getting contested for command.
Oh, sweet. Well, thanks for the long time watching all day.
Strafing
Appreciate it, man.
was not too
What's up with the quality
about that. That had to get sent off on the gravity cannon.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't gone that far north this time, right? So it's like, where he was getting contested last time, it's probably even a little bit contentious whether that's actually part of Command Center, because it's a little sort of no-name place in the middle. But, you know, let's just go quickly down over here to Fish Farms, because we've already had a fight. So, Dugu Play, who were previously, I believe, landing in Gale Station, they've already been eliminated here by 2MK1 Pad.
Yeah, I'm not sure why
that was aggressive
so early. I mean,
Weird.
maybe there was
Very
a world
weird.
where they thought 2MK1 Pad was still playing as a duo, and they thought, let's just hot drop them. But I mean, you can see that as you're dropping. You can also see it in the lobby that they've got 3. So I don't know if I'd necessarily be on board with that as a...
Okay, we might have a little fight
Either way,
over here. I
that
can't
fight
tell
has
if
gone
they're
the way
coming
that it
in.
has, and Dugu Play will not be very happy about
No,
it.
no, they're not.
Is what it is. Here's the next...
Looks like they're going more towards this direction for the circle.
And this is a big change
Get a
from the
good
last
spot
couple
to
that we've
plant.
seen, which have been a little bit more central, a little bit more northeastern. This one actually
Thanks,
pulling more
Resub
toward the southeast. So those teams that drop in toward the mill.
Yeah, Moist
Scope,
Esports
Barometer,
for
they're
Apex
all a little
is
bit
in
happier about
APAC
how that
region,
has played out.
Australia.
And, one of the teams that we actually highlighted that needs to kind of step up a little bit is Daewoo United, and you can see with Asia right there in toward the center.
Did
of
the
zone,
stream crash again? It
Daewoo was
did.
kind of hanging around right where
the
Asia
chat
is, where
crashed it
Raki is.
again.
You can see Bastion just toward the bottom end of that. So they're all sort of jostling for position right now. It's like Daewoo and Boogie Borders just sort of looking for positioning with Emmanuel, those 3 teams.
Do they not give a
CQB
command
obviously
center for
landing in
APAC South
Barometer.
games?
You can see they're on top
I
of...
don't know.
oh, is it Valiant that's on top? No, Valiant's inside, I believe. Sorry, not Valiant. Who's this other team? Having trouble clicking onto them. RWD.
Yeah, never too easy, but Stinky B are going to try to make their way in through the door. Good arc star damage coming out there. You have to think, I'm not surely going to come here from Hizzy. It did not land.
Maybe Moist just comes in here, third parties, cleans up all 6. Bang.
Both teams now inside. One occupying top floor, one occupying bottom floor, and it is...
I don't think we're close to here.
Natural reset.
I forgot where we were.
The fight for both teams to be able to heal back on up.
Is Moist named after you? No, actually, it's named after an old Egyptian god
Don Cat
of dubs.
was knocked down by Shadi. So Stinky B down a player early on in the piece.
So 3 Dons in this fight. We've got Don Donson and Don Cat. And Don Cat is the first to be removed here. Stinky B just trying to eke this one out. The Prowlers, you can see no attachments at all.
Rough.
And it's not going to be enough for them. So RWD...
I am actually shocked they lost that.
They're coming in hot.
Yep.
You can see this is the
Damn,
team
the
that
third
has
party's gonna be
Bangalore,
rough here
of
too for this
course.
squad.
EXO running that pocket pick here, and RWD running away.
Let me give some
Somehow they
magic.
get out of there. They
Reset
do
Tim.
lose a player, Don, and they've also received a knock on the way out there by Dexter. So it's really just going to be Donson that's going to try to carry on the rest of the torch for RWD. Northside Esports
Moist
not
playing
really
Edger
suffering,
zone right now.
or faring any better either. They've lost a player, Nuku, down on the floor.
I don't know where they're at on this side though.
Is coming through. Looks like they're going to be okay. I mean, they're fairly central in the zone, so these are probably more likely just some pot shots going out between them and other teams, not necessarily committed fights.
Yeah, I mean, these buildings, like, you definitely can push into them, right? Especially the one north side in, you can see there, it's a very narrow building. and you do have angles on it if the doors have been.
It's not a
taken
terrible
up,
spot.
which they have. So at this point, Northside,
I think this
they
gives them
might
a good
have to be
opportunity
little
here
bit
to
careful,
clean up
otherwise
a
they're
couple
gonna bleed
kills,
out of their
but there's
meds
3
real
squads
soon.
here,
And I
so
can tell you, they don't have a huge
we're up here.
amount.
Oh, here we go.
Tends to be the case when you're one of the teams that moves first. And to sacrifice your ability to...
We're in
spend
5th
time
place right
looting.
now.
Moist Esports have set up under the bridge. We know this is a fairly solid position. You've got a lot of cover to play from, work with. So something that I think they'll be pretty happy to manage for now.
Probably just during his stream,
Fairly
Jay.
central inside of the zone.
He's
Just
always
the-
reading chat.
The northern side really of Barometer is the edge of the zone. All these teams you can see up on your screen pretty much in the zone or just about in the zone. RWD
Oh, who dropped them?
finished off in the meanwhile.
Okay,
There you
that
go.
was Waltzy. Let's
See
go,
that.
baby.
It's the spot Northside picked. It's just not good enough. It's just so hard.
All right,
to
all
play
right,
from
all
there.
right.
And as you can see, Emmanuel, one of our teams to watch for today.
That gives us
going
one.
to straight up take them out and clear a little bit more space for themselves. I wouldn't be surprised if we see more teams, try and
Maybe
take
tier
that
one.
little barrow though.
Nad.
It's good to see from Emmanuel. They haven't had the greatest of days so far, so they need to be getting some points on the board right
We
now.
take that.
This bridge is becoming very important once you get a barometer zone. They do provide a lot of cover, especially if you're seeing Watson teams in the lobby. You can set up under them
I think
quite
you said
well. There's a lot
Tyler
of
and Neo.
places, to just nestle those pylons into.
Let me give some Tyler.
Yep, Golden Sage locking themselves in.
Is this Moist first competitive
In
FPS?
the back
No.
pocket as well. They look to be
Also,
doing alright.
Splitgate.
All sets of purple armor. Some resources in the back pocket as well. They've got a control of an orange right out there on the side of the map too. Need to be careful they don't lose anybody on this.
Man, the
spot.
time
Even
difference is
because
rough,
of
man.
the
This
lows,
just
it's
started
like
at midnight
again,
for
pop
me.
of bat, but they're not really under
Fuck.
too much immediate threat. Again, just pot shots at this stage of the game. We've had, I think, quite a bit of
This is
early
match number
engagements,
3.
and so you're probably going to see it slow down a little bit now. Most of the teams have made their rotation in, found themselves a position that they're pretty happy with. Truth is one on the outer edge. Free agents as well.
Are we winning? 5th
Valiant.
place right now.
And again, SRY, another team that's spending a lot of time.
We
in
had a
the
great
zone,
game 1.
taking their time on the rotate.
Game 2 got a little
Seems to
rough
be,
with
I
being
guess, their
collapsed on in a
methodology. I
bad
suppose that's what
position.
you have to deal with when you're one of the teams that drops really far up toward the north. You can see there at Thunderwatch only
Thanks,
so
Bits
far.
Lucky.
I mean, it's still a long, long way to travel. But I think this is kind of part of their methodology or their game plan.
I don't know what
in
you're talking
circles
about,
like
Lucky.
this.
What?
Yeah, just using a couple of the crafters if they can. Obviously, there is
I don't know what
one
site
at
you're talking about.
Thunderwatch, this game. That probably will get looted by MDY Whites, but they're happy to take some of those crafters and materials on the way in. As you can see, the zone is going to continue to shift south. So potentially Emmanuel in a really good spot here. Just the way that zone is pulling with a lot of the mountains to the north.
I don't-
Yeah, and the fact that
I
it's
can't
touching
tell.
down
Oh,
towards
we're
that
still under the bridge.
southwestern corner
We're still
as
under the
well,
bridge.
does indicate to me that teams like Emmanuel and also Boogie Borders are going to be in a really good position.
Nobody panic, but we got bandits out there.
They can just take some little cheeky shots at some of the teams around them, though, and get some
Little, pot
little
shots
silly
again
kills
from
here and there, some
Golden
picks
Sage.
maybe. They don't need to push
Might
from
be
where
able to
they're
spot a
at.
Bother in a sec here. We've got 2 mouse and keyboard, 1 pad. We're going to need to think of a better name than that. Team Up. I think I'm going to go with Team Up on their way in.
Where's TSM or Fury? Is this like second
EXO
league?
are gonna have to push
You don't know
their
how
way
regions
down
work?
their hill, and I think they don't
This
really
is a
want to
different
take
region,
fight
so this
as
is
much as their
APAC.
opponents do already.
TSM
That first
Furia,
one has
the ones you're
gone the
talking
wrong
about, are
way.
not
If you're an
this
EXO
region.
fan,
Oh,
it's
so
just
they go in
1
different
HP
orders.
Deleted.
I don't know when
from
theirs
the
starts.
game. And again, an early exit for EXO. Team Up are going to have plenty of time as well to work with here. There's no one on this side of the map, so should be an easy reset for them.
Some lovely aerial acrobatics there.
NA starts on Sunday.
Goose
Oh, okay,
Senpai
okay.
Managing to get above them with the gravity lift horizon. I don't think we saw that in the first. Oh, actually, maybe that's the one player that was missing from Team Up in that first first game because when we got the
Do
initial
you like
stats
Apex
coming through
Comp?
for us
Well,
for
if I
the
didn't, I
Legend
wouldn't
piece,
have
yeah, I
wanted
don't think we had
to be in
any
it.
Horizon in
The only thing I
lobby,
didn't like about the last
despite,
ALGS is the way they handled
Apologies
COVID.
being,
They
probably
had
more
so many
I don't think
unused setups. They
competitive,
could have just put
but
them in a
definitely
different room
at
away
times
from people instead of just saying
has
you
been
can't
quite
play.
feared, 'cause
I thought
if you
that was
get
shitty.
A player who's really
Outside of that, though, I thought it was great.
with her ultimate, with that black hole, right? It's just so hard to get away from, and you can just wipe an unsuspecting squad so easily with a couple of arc stars.
Yeah, definitely is a bit of a pocket pick here and there. Certainly something that's viable. But
Thanks
I'm
to
not
Bits
sure
Virus. My day's been alright,
you
man.
can
Haven't
see
really
a
done much.
lot of teams picking it up. Here and there, though, definitely for the comfort players.
Thanks to Risa Blue God.
And not a whole lot to really touch on for Team Up. I mean, they are making a bit more of a rotation in past Antenna now and sort of coming into Jurassic Park side rather than working their way in through the Barometer side of
It's
this
going to be
little
tough
valley.
for them, right? As they move in here, they've got free agents ahead of them, and then there's another choke
Is
ahead
it Prime
of that,
Sean?
where MDY are currently peering through the fence, just kind of like Team Up are on the other side here. And they will have to make their way through there eventually, unless, of course, they just decide to Valk ult over. Getting a little preview there of one of our drops, a Rampage.
Are we still under the...
Quick
No.
reminder for anyone who's
I'm sure
tuning
we've
in later,
rotated
we
by
are
now.
playing on the ALGS client. We are Season 14, so the Rampage changes haven't come through yet.
Damn,
right?
I have to
it's
pee
not
real
coming
bad
out of the
now,
Care
fuck.
package charged up immediately. Still got to
Something
pop
that
the hot
takes a bit
dog
of
in
getting
there.
used to, I think. But all these teams, I'm sure, will
Why are you
prepare.
watching Apex? Our team's in it.
A lot of them have been busy in the off-season.
The LGS is rolling around, baby. Moist Esports gotta pop off.
grinding.
I've had 2 stream crashes in the last 30 minutes,
Coming in
so
strong. I think
that
a
took
couple
a
of
little
them
wind out of my
certainly have
sails,
been
but I'm
Emmanuel,
hoping
maybe not so much today.
big dubs will make me
Valiant.
feel better.
Definitely the team to beat at the moment. An eye on Truth. They had a pretty decent game 1. Didn't really replicate that in game 2. And I think they've got a pretty tough ask ahead of them here for game 3 as well. You can see where that circle goes. Truth are actually aware of it. They've got the next ring popped up. But they have a long distance to travel. A lot of open
Where did we
ground
rotate
cross,
to?
and they've also, which they're unaware of, got a team behind them. SRY is creeping their way around the cliff behind them. So just to the north of where Truth is right now, wrapping around the side of the cliff.
Yeah,
is
CSGO is a
SRY,
place
and
we
if
really
Truth
want
is
to be in
not
at some
quick,
point.
there's
It's
gonna be
just
some
very
shots in their
expensive and
back
hard to find a
very,
team that's
very
like
shortly.
actually super good or
Yeah,
put
they've got
together
a
like
minute or
an
two
all-star
before the next
squad.
ring will close to sort of make
is
that
quite by the way.
rotation. Meanwhile, Valiant having
Unlucky.
a rough time of it. They found themselves at the edge of the circle, and free agents
Let's go,
pushing
baby.
onto
Push
them.
'em.
Now it's only
that's good
player
for us.
K and strafing Flame who
That's
are
good
up,
for us.
and they didn't even have time to resupply
Ultimate accelerate here.
to
Thanks,
get
Resub
themselves
Matt.
back into that fight before free agents run completely over the top.
Good morning, Snurt.
Yeah, that is
Thanks for the
a
bits.
pretty much picture perfect third party from free agents. That's exactly how you want to be doing it. Someone's getting picked up off the floor. You're basically playing a 3-on-1 at that point. And they make it look easy. They get themselves a couple of extra kill points as well. And they're on their merry way. Now, there's not too much actually going on this side of the circle. They will have to go past MDY
Oh, we're still under the bridge.
on their way in, unless they try to skyward dive their way forward. And this is where they'd want to be going. It's pretty much dead center of the next zone. SRY, you can see there,
Okay.
just on the outskirts of the building that Boogie Boarders are holding, have just used their skyward dive to rotate.
Yeah, you gotta pay the
So,
troll toll under the bridge,
teams
baby.
investing that ultimate
Whatever gets
to
it done,
make
man.
their rotation. And that's, I guess,
Just
why you
taking
still
some
see
cheeky shots.
Valkyrie being pretty much the 100% pick rate.
Easy picks.
Still so important in so many of the aspects that
Man, I
these
gotta pee
players
so
play the
fucking
game.
bad. Oh my
Even
God.
with the nerfs to the missile swarm, it's not quite as much of a menace as it used to be. But yeah, it's really all
Thanks to
about
Tier 1 Glime.
that the rotational tool in the Skyward Dive.
fuck, I
isn't
gotta
it?
pee.
So
Oh my
Moist
God.
Esports, as you can see, there's the nice little cocoon, the pylon that I was talking about. If you're holding one of those bridges and then being able to hold it off even further with the castle wall and the fences, it's a very potent combination there for this composition pioneered by 100 Thieves at Rally.
Keep getting the battering ram out. Door goes down. Do they really want to challenge?
Yeah, fucking challenge it. Get in there. Don't be a pussy.
look
Oh,
at
A
wow.
that.
little bit awkward underneath. Sutu
That
Depot
one
has
guy
gone
was
down.
really feeling that move.
Looks like he's going to drop back.
Okay,
off, but
whoa.
Push is coming through. Bunny hop deleted by the car
Whoa, wait.
Who has
The 1v3
better found 2, can't win the 1-on-3, which is
Man, if his
basically what it
team could have
ended up
just
being.
stepped it up a
Oh,
little
bro.
bit.
Dude,
They
managed to
had
survive.
that.
Savior Heavier clutching that one out.
And
an
are you
alternative pylon.
surprised?
Help
Are
him
you
out.
surprised, Elfish? It's Savior with the
Thanks for 5
clutch.
gifts subs,
This
Glide.
guy, every
Appreciate
time
it.
he finds himself in a 1v1, he always gets it done. Wingman, Eva, doesn't matter what's in his hands, he always makes it.
Oh, I'm gonna fucking pee my pants.
Good position to be taking.
Keepers.
But they're actually
Extra
not
Prime Blizzy.
inside of the next zone. It is going to be a nice little.
I
staging
I
round
can't
for
hold it.
the
I'm actually gonna.
Push
No,
Cross.
wait, we're engaging.
You can see
or
they're just here
someone's
on the left,
engaging
right
on
underneath
us.
that
In
match
T?
3 graphic. They've got a lot of open territory to cross. I wonder how they're going to
Okay, I
decide
gotta
to
pee.
make
I
the
can't- I
cross.
actually can't
Is it
hold it, no
going
shot.
to be with the Valkyrie ultimate, they do have that available to them. MDY White is another one of those teams that's going to also have to rotate their way in. Again, the Skyward Dive feels like a pretty good option at this point. I just don't think that the terrain that they're going to have to cross, where you're basically running through the water, is going to be particularly viable to run. You know, we've all
Yeah.
had games that have ended down in this area of the map, and if you get stuck in the water and you start getting shot at, you know, short of a Gibraltar shield or a Newcastle shield, there's not much that's going to keep you alive.
Yeah, and of course, Gibraltar has dropped to 0% in the picks, right? So
MDY
yeah,
is Valkyrie, by the
yeah.
way.
The Newcastle pick really, the Newcastle Shield's the only option. But yeah, as you say, they are making the Skyward Dive right now. Are there going to be many spots for them to go? Probably not. There's the little barrow that we talked about before that is still clear.
They're landing on this fight. They're landing on this fight that we're watching right now. So this is now basically a three-man fight that free agents have more or less landed themselves in. They've got the castle walls up, and MDY White have actually been turned upon.
I missed everything. No,
Truth
what
Esports
happened? I had to pee
has
so
been
bad.
eliminated in that meanwhile, but MDY
What?
did lose Mingyu, and somehow free agents have just gone completely uncontested. They've kept their heads down, and it's their two opponents that have come
How?
off far worse.
What just happened?
Man, Moist are going to be kicking themselves right now. They think they're in a fair, you know, straight up 3v3, and then a team just Valks on their heads. That's rough, but that's Apex.
That is indeed, and I mean, look, it hasn't gone too well for MDY White
Unlucky.
either. They have
Okay.
pretty much been punished for their transgressions. Free agents do lose a player on that push, but there's no one else on
All
this
right.
side of the zone, so I think they might just be able to get that res. Question is, are they going to get armor swaps and survive? That looks like it's not going to happen. Mexus is the last one up. Lahim now fully finished. Elkin did get to some safety behind this castle wall, so Mexus
You were the
might be able to raise
glue? I
him
guess
for
so. That's
at
such
least the
unlucky
duo.
timing.
They've got 48 seconds to work with. They've got plenty of time. They
So
don't
from
have the
what the
Skyward Dive
casters said, they
available.
just got a classic
They-
third-partied.
I don't think they're going to have it either by the time this zone starts to
That
push. So
sucks.
They're going to have a pretty
That
tough one
fucking
to make.
sucks.
Not to mention, Belkin's obviously going
He's
to
a
have to
bit
heal
anarchist.
himself back up too. So
Yeah,
they're in trouble.
Mobies are in crafters at the moment, so you never know. Maybe the you know, one of the players picked those up. It's an option. 20 seconds left. You're probably getting too far to be able to even consider that now. So might just have to go as a duo. In terms of where the ring is pulling, it's pretty much as I said, right, Elfish. It is going directly on
Okay,
top of
so match
Emmanuel.
3 kind of a
Those
wash
guys
for
are
us.
going to have God spot.
Well, it's actually gone a little bit north. A little
That's
bit
not
more
good. We're gonna
north
need
than
a
most
big
teams would have
game 4.
expected, and a lot of the water is actually inside of this next zone. So it's kind of unplayable territory, which has made things a little bit awkward for those teams that are still in Barometer. They all have to collapse in on this one building, which you can see. Two teams Valve ulting right up on top. They were united right in the thick of things, all losing their shields. Alternator Pylon to try to help out, but there's just so many teams looking at them.
Jesus
And it's going to be an
Christ.
absolute miracle if they get away with this one alive. It seems as though they've found themselves a brief moment of respite, and that's probably just because everyone is fighting everyone else. If you were to see the map right now, you would see how many CL
Jesus
have on that. I think
Christ.
there's 4 or 5 that are stacked on top of one another, and that's just how many teams are fighting for positioning. They were united, playing it smart, keeping their heads down, and relatively unscathed so far is a really
Yeah,
positive
no,
sign.
there's no way we stay in 5th
Yeah,
place
it's
after
almost
this
like
one.
a perfect
Unlucky.
information
That's
game
fine.
right now. There, as you said, 4 Seer ultimates.
just get a
at the
big
same
game,
time.
4, 5, and
Emmanuel
6,
popping
and we're
theirs
good.
defensively just to make sure that they know where they're coming from, where the threats are. They're underneath, they're on top. Frankly, they're everywhere, but at least they know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an absolute mess in that building. It's like ants scurrying around on top of one another. You can see from the overhead perspective,
resub hurts.
Boogie Boarders are the team that's on the roof. And I'd say actually being on the roof is probably the best place to be. It's going to be really difficult to challenge.
Yeah, they've just pinged Hermagerd. They're over the other side. They're kind of the only team that's not currently sitting in that little space. Even free agents.
Is the Moist team
duo
the
there
exact
have started moving
same Team Burger
underneath, 'cause
roster?
this
Yes, it
the
is.
circle will close and will end up in that water pretty much in the middle of all of this. So if Hermagerd can just hold it down for a little bit over there to the right of your screen right now, they're going to be in a good spot. And hopefully everyone else is just focusing on everyone around them. But that's not necessarily how it always works out.
Hermagerd have made that cross, and they have not lost a player in doing so just yet. I mean, I think we're getting to that point now where you'd really be wishing you had a Jibby, because once we get into this water fight, once teams have to push their way out of this building, I mean, the teams with Newcastle are going to have a bit of a benefit, aren't they? If you don't have a Newcastle here and instead you've got a Seer, you're not going to have any cover to play behind, and you're probably just going to get farmed. As soon as you drop off
there a
as well, you're
placement
jumping
you're
into
aiming
Watson
for?
fences everywhere.
Number one,
They want
yeah.
an engagement here.
Yes.
Trying to deal with SRY, and that's gone quite comfortably.
I don't know what the
Still
minimum
5
we need
squads
is.
alive.
I'm not sure.
Remembering Boogie Boarders
I guess
up
we'll
on
see.
the roof. They want to
feel
be
like-
keeping themselves as healthy as possible.
I feel like these teams are going to be perma-stunned as soon as this ring starts closing any further, right? Because there's just Watson fences everywhere. You can see them getting popped. I'm not sure if... Oh, there we... Okay, we've got a Moby respawn beacon. It's probably not going to do anything just for a little bit of covers. You can see Chambers getting stunned up the top there. Hermagerd still playing from that right side. Boogie Boarders from the top. They were downed at one point, but they have...
Yeah, I'm pretty
got
sure
themselves back
Pricey's
to
team
full
up there
power,
has this.
And now they are going to be looking
They just
down
have a
with
much
disdain
better
on the rest of the
position.
lobby.
Yeah, Hermagerd, I think might be in the
Oh,
position to beat
there
right
we go.
now, because Emmanuel and Boogie Boarders are going to run into one another.
Oh, maybe
Hermagerd
not.
coming through for the third party. They've jumped up. This is the team coming in to pick up all the frags. Pricey has got himself one. Boogie Boarders, though, will fall. And now it's down to the final 3. Hermagerd looking very healthy.
Oh,
and they now
whiffing some
are
shots.
the kings of the hill. They've
didn't
gone
matter.
from absolutely nowhere. They were completely out of that engagement. They were the only team not inside of the building or around the building.
Tough.
Eventually, they crossed
That was
the
a tough
water,
round for us.
take that timing, pushing up and over the top, getting onto the walkway. Third party that fight. The other 2 teams have dropped off down into the bottom, and all of a sudden, they're the ones in control.
Yeah, and I really want to talk about that decision, right? Because I was
Fuck,
sort of
man.
discussing it when they were at that rock by themselves, Elfish. As you said, completely separated.
Is there more?
from
Yeah,
the
we have
rest
3
of
more
the
matches.
lobby. And sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes it's
Everyone
not.
running
Because
Watson?
sometimes
Yeah,
you're like,
Watson's
okay,
pretty
everyone else
meta.
is having to,
Thanks
you
to
know,
the bits,
deal
Mike.
with everyone else, and they're also
Give
wrapped
sub
up in all this
random.
nonsense that's going on in the one building where everyone else is trying to find that cover that you can kind of keep to themselves, especially if they've got a little bit of cover behind that rock and a little bit of safety with the Newcastle wall as well. But sometimes what will happen is kind of
The place you all go up. I don't know. It
It
happened when I went to pee. I went to pee when they were 12 left.
And as they do that,
So
they're
I'm
not
guessing
looking
not
up
even
or
top 10
down
on that,
or, you
which
know,
is
to the
bad.
side. They're just looking straight out at the only other team they can see across the opposite side of the lobby to them. And if that
We
happens,
did
if you
get, I
3 or
think,
4
2
teams in that
cheeky
building
kills
pulling
there,
out
though.
and looking over at Hermagerd, that's when you guys can.
So
just
we
get,
got
like,
some
instantly
points.
deleted. That's, you know, you got 4 people like firing down. The castle wall will not last. It will not stay up for a second. So it was an interesting and ultimately very successful strategy there by Saviour's team to make their way under, just as free agents did. But of course, they had the 3 players instead of 2, so a little bit easier for Hermagerd to play the power position there. So really well done.
Yeah, very, very impressive stuff. I thought free agents actually as well, after, you know, obviously getting the res here, as we can see on the replay, being able to make the cross and keep themselves alive into, I think, the top 5
Oh,
was quite an
Jesus.
impressive result as well.
Holy
They really
shit.
seemed to
Thank
be
you for the
on
100
pump.
gift subs.
They did well.
Good to
in
see you. I
this
hope you're
small
doing well.
engagement.
Congrats, by
Yeah,
the
I mean,
way.
this is
I saw the huge announcement. Wishing you and Sunless Khan the best with the org. Thank you for that. That was sweet. That's an HBox viewer? Nah. That's just a viewer of all things in like entertainment on Twitch. XQC in here sometimes, making power moves in Rocket League. Such a sweetheart. Thank you for that. That was very, very nice.
chat if you want to keep up to date with that. It is updating after each game is done. Valiant still sitting toward the top end of things, so they did do enough, but you can definitely make the argument that they've cooled off after game 1.
Yeah, I mean, Striking Flame is added to his total, right? So he's sitting up at 11 kills now, which is better than...
Bad News Eagle is a pretty good team. They're Orgless right now. They're in the Legend stage in CS. You should consider them. I've watched Bad News Eagles for like the last, 8 months. They are nuts. They are absolutely nuts. I just don't think they'd really want to join us, but super interested in having the conversation if they are. See if there's a way of making that make sense for everyone. But yeah, they're really good. Thanks for the bits, Jay. Oh, is that how the scoring works? All right, thanks for the link. Let me see if this is updated and see if we're definitely not still 5th. Holy shit, we're still 5th. Hey, we take that. Okay. So we're still in striking distance here. Thanks, Resub Orange. Oh, wait. I just realized I'm blocking it. Yeah. Valiant's had a good couple games. The third game they got third-partied, so they were out kind of early, which was great for us, but we couldn't capitalize, unfortunately, because then we got third-partied. What's next for Moist Esports League of Legends team? A couple huge things on the horizon. Not team announcements yet, but we have been really, really trying to get into CSGO in particular, so just trying to get all of that figured out, how much that would cost, how all of that looks. So that would likely be our next huge one if we can get all that ironed out. League's too expensive. Valorant's too expensive. That'd be amazing. It would be. It really would be. No, all the Riot games are just too expensive. At least right now for us. Why are certain ones too expensive? Franchising for one, and two, the players, they get like 6-7 figure salaries each. When you get to that level. Like a tier 1 Nightblade. So that's just a little much. If you win enough from tournaments, you should go into League or possibly Overwatch. We don't take any money from winnings. Players keep it all. So you do not make any profit? Nope. Not yet. Eventually maybe through like merch and shit or in-game items. Like we have a skin in Rocket League and we get a portion of those sales obviously. Thanks the bits, Ichi. Yep, we'll be doing that for sure, Ichi. Oh, thank you for the 20 gift subs, Juice. God damn, thank you for the generosity. Thank you for that. And thanks to the tier 1, Juice. Thanks for the fat drop. And thanks to the resub, Kigano. And the prime Beatty. Buying a team spot in league is like 40 mil. Yeah. I believe Misfits sold their league spot for 38 mil. Opinions on me ranking up in Valorant? Hey man, I'm super happy to hear that. You're one step closer to Radiant. Sounds like a money pit. Yeah, it's esports in a nutshell. When will the next announcement be? Hopefully pretty soon. Not sure exactly when, but hopefully soon. I'm not even gonna try and put like a time frame on it. But we'll see. I think everyone's gonna be hype. Hey man, you don't have to sell me on Bad News Eagles. I'm a fan. I would be very interested to see if they'd have any, like even a modicum of interest in being part of Moist Esports for CSGO. I think that team's nasty. And that's a team that's on like an upward trajectory. Like they're not like a stagnating team or anything. They're streaking. Like they're fucking hot. Like they're good. Proved it's not a fluke. Thanks for resub Obelisk and Scad. Not yet, Mob. But we haven't gone through all of them. You have any merch now? What? Yeah, Moist Global. Had that for a while. We got some new stuff coming out pretty soon. There's the Prime. Frags and the resub Gengar. How involved? How are you involved with the team? You sponsor them? They represent the org. But I'm not like their coach or anything. Basically, whatever the team wants, we provide. And they pop off for us. You'd be the best coach? No, I would actually be probably the worst possible Apex coach. My playstyle was always the most aggressive. Back, like, it was preseason pretty much. Like, before Octane even dropped, my strategy was random queue, trios, solo. I'd basically just solo squads. I always just played full pedal to the metal for no fucking reason. And it worked. The Bearded Shroud. I used to be so fucking nasty. People still do that. Oh, it's not a unique playstyle by any means, but it's not conducive to the big stage against professional players. That's just pub stomping shit. All right.
That these players
We need a
had
big
to
game 4.
work out their play styles.
All right,
fight
come on,
for
boys.
supremacy, work out where they want to drop and who can go where. Moist Esports, as you can see, that's how you know, Elfish. That's how you know that they're the premier team in this region now. Because who's taken over Lava Siphon from Dark Zero but Moist Esports?
Yep, exactly.
Fuck yeah.
That's something that we sort of touched
Dark
on
Zero
Storm
switched
Point as
regions.
well. They were dropping in the center of the map there, exactly where Reignite used to. Or
Thanks,
Dark
Risa
Zero.
Waffle.
Now, it is interesting, just touching on Lava Siphon, that we do have the duo of MDY here hanging around as well. You can see QQ and Yuling rather, just hanging around. And
Maybe we
maybe
just get
moving
some
up
quick
some
picks.
Of that loot that Moist
Maybe we
Esports
take a
would like.
page out of my playbook and we just get like super aggressive for no
Particular
reason.
problem for them. Over into Trials, you know and love it.
Yeah, I do. Like, it's actually been a little while since I've landed at Trials personally, and just hearing that noise started up, man, I just have these like nostalgia chills. Oh, it's so good to be back with ALGS.
Yeah. I mean, obviously this.
The
is a team
casters are
that,
great, man.
Used to drop here as well in previous seasons.
This is the first time
so
I've heard
not
these
much has really
casters.
changed.
I really like
The
them.
org has changed, obviously, but the team still more than happy to take this position, and Cyagin God is going to be the one to work on the Trials himself. They do obviously like to loot a bit in Skyhook as well, which is what's occurring at the moment. The other team there is Hermagerd, but I think, you know, that is an area of the map that generally you're going to see teams sort of have a bit of a gentleman's handshake and say, yep, you get half of Skyhook, we get half of Skyhook and Trials. That's all good.
Yeah, well, it's like there are some regions actually where you do see 3 teams, and you get like one team Skyhook East, one team Skyhook West, and one team who
Will you
purely
tend to
plays
land
from
in the
Trials.
future? I might.
But in most circumstances,
We'll
the
see.
team who gets trialed will pick up.
We gotta
Skyhook
make the
West,
land first, though. We
as
can't count our chickens before
so
they
Valiant,
hatch.
can see.
I believe in the boys, though.
Quick rotation from them. They are almost all the way into Overlook now, and it looked like 505 were potentially thinking about running into them, but no, they've just decided to take the sort of the large building. Of course, running around with Watson, they're going to get that fortified up nice and soon. Valiant, do they want to take some of those buildings themselves? Do they wanna put
I
them
actually
out,
like our
which
position here.
can be a little bit risky. You
This
definitely
could be a
can take
good
some
third-party
sniper fire
opportunity for
and
Moist.
burn meds if you're up there sometimes. Moist also.
And it's good.
They're gonna have
The
a
fact
big
it's
game,
Valiant is good
but
because
they
we
don't
can
have the
hopefully
crypto to
knock them
use it
out,
that
prevent
long.
them from more
Actually,
points.
One quick change I also want to touch on, Elfish, here is that if you don't have a crypto right now, a lot of these teams aren't getting later game zone info, because without the Gibraltar, even if you're sitting on
Actually,
a
this is
beacon
looking less likely
Yeah.
now.
late in the game, you cannot afford to put yourself in
Thanks,
that
Risa
position
Blair.
and take the scan most of the time.
Yep. Oh, that's a very good point. I think at least in this case for the Overlook Circle, maybe you could get away with it with a Newcastle Shield.
Or
Moist
maybe.
might be thinking about that.
Maybe.
I mean, the zone's pulling in that direction. You would have to go out into the ring to take a bit of damage there and get the zone info, but maybe it would be worth it. We'll see. Have to kind of keep a little bit of an eye on that, but obviously this is a very, very hard Eastern shift, so not too good for those teams that were over in Skyhook and Trials that we were talking
These are
about.
tier 1 Lucky
Exo as
Owl.
well, out of staging, only just now starting to leave. They've got a fair way to go, but a lot of teams have actually already made this.
Do you have any
rotation.
superstitions about
Generally
Apex team?
speaking,
I
you're
actually
gonna be
gave up on all
seeing a lot
superstitions.
of
I don't do it
teams
anymore.
get
I made a
early
promise
info
to
off
rise.
of those survey beacons for at least the first 2 phases. And even if you're not getting the info from those beacons, you can kind of see sometimes teams flying through the air on those, skyward dives, or you can see teams rotating their way past and make a bit of an informed guess that, like, if 1 or 2 teams are heading in whatever direction, maybe the zone's pulling in that direction and they've got the info. Even if we don't, we can sort of make a bit of an educated guess that the zone might be going that way. So
Give it a little
lot of
gargle.
teams getting that info through early, and obviously most of them rotating pretty early on in the piece. Northside Esports just going to set themselves up in these train carts.
Thanks, Resub Red Pie.
We've seen teams win from this position before. but it definitely isn't, I think, the exact the place to be necessarily.
Yeah, like considering it's low ground, it's probably one of the better places I've seen. To
Yeah, but very
hold in
aesthetic
the
gurgle.
game where,
Yeah, I've been told
you know,
that.
You don't necessarily have
Thanks to
height.
tier
And
one
I think
ding.
when we're seeing, you know, this Watson meta as well, these train cars do become even harder to take. That said, you know, last season it would have been a caustic as well, right? So, you know, maybe not a huge change in terms of, you know, how teams are able to hold those enclosed positions.
Oh, I'm super excited for the new
Awesome
God
shot
of War.
there
Yeah,
from,
I can't
beautiful
wait.
Observers. You can see Daewoo holding up top here, and then below them that was, of course, Sinky B.
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely seen teams win from that position. I just don't know that it's the first team there that wins from that position. Do you know what I mean? It seems to be a spot that gets crashed a lot, and normally it's like the third or fourth team that actually takes control of it that might then go on to win the game from there.
Who's fighting?
By the way, besides the point, we've still got a lot of game yet to play. And we have a lot of teams still yet to touch on. Daewoo United, you know, setting themselves up.
Ooh.
It's a bit of a looser position here. There's not amazing amounts of cover. Actually, SRY, they've been a consistent team so far, but this could actually be the end of their run of consistency. If they go down right here, they've already definitely lost.
That's
a
us on the
player.
outskirts, right? That should be us, I'm pretty sure. So maybe we push this, clean this
Res
up.
off. Surviving for now.
Oh, no.
I think, right?
Completely removed.
Pretty
so,
sure this
yeah,
was the
that'll be
squad to the right. No, Valiant was to the
eyes.
right. I
Oh,
don't think
man,
that's
they got
us.
The turbocharged Devotion as well.
No, this
I'd be
isn't
feeling
us.
sad about that personally.
All right. Well, still fairly slow play. I mean, this is, I think, probably what we're going to get for the majority of this season.
Flick a wiener.
Unless the meta really shakes up too
How would that
much.
help me?
Doesn't seem to make too much of a difference whether we're on Stormpoint or on World's Edge. You're going to be getting the Valkyrie Watson combo for the majority of teams. Funnily enough, even the duos.
Yeah.
And obviously that promotes the slower gameplay style.
For good luck.
Or it might have been Gibby. And,
I'll give it a- okay, I'll
something
give it a
like
light
that.
flick.
But yeah,
There.
that they do
We'll see
seem
how
to
that
be
goes.
the backbone. EXO sticking on that Bangalore pick, even here in World's Edge. Just a little point of difference between them and everyone else.
This could be a problem for MDY. They're a duo, and the EMP has just completely crushed their hold. Really clean take from Golden Sage.
Yeah,
I just
in
gave it a
World's
light
Edge,
flick.
actually,
Nothing
they're
too big.
looking
We'll see how it
this.
feels,
They
or
do,
see how it goes.
Get out of their train car and
Feel
into
it
the
out a
one
bit.
that's just below Golden Sage as they hear those shots ring out, but they can't find the angles. Golden Sage looting from safety, and as you said, it was a clean fight, so they didn't really even give them time to make something of that opening.
Indeed, indeed. So, a couple of teams down already. Nothing.
Oh, it looks like
too
we're pushing it. Oh,
untoward
that was us
occurring
on the outskirts.
just yet.
Damn, we couldn't get in there and close that
Still-
out.
Still hanging out toward Overlook. They are the.
I still find
pretty
them.
much the easternmost team. By the way, they did actually go and get that circle info that we were talking about, and they are aware that it's going to once again pull back out toward the east. So they're more than happy to stay locked up here, even though this spot isn't inside of ring number 4. They won't have too far to go.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to tell.
Did we get
hard
the
to
other?
make this
No, I don't
read,
think so.
actually,
I'm pretty
after
sure
Circle 4, though. I mean,
Valiant. Jesus.
World's Edge is
Valiant
not
dropped
quite as
the other.
predictable as Storm Point. So despite the circle sort of hard shifting to the east there a couple of times in a row now, after this, I think there is a chance it sort of ping-pongs around a little bit. It could be the rocks. It could be down at those train cars that we saw before. It could be even as far over as a team like Golden Sage in that caravan that we got some vision of earlier. So this is actually a hard one to play, and as we noted, not many of these teams are going to be getting that info. It's pretty much only going to be those crypto teams, right? And if I have a look around now, that's GQ that is still in. Emmanuel are playing with the crypto, and then we had a third team, right? Oh yeah, Golden Sage as well. So yeah, a couple of those Chinese teams there, as well as Emmanuel.
Yeah, everyone has a little bit of a different view of the game and how they want to be playing it out. So you can see that second ring pull, obviously, as we said, goes very, very far out toward the east.
Oh, we're engaging down there.
Little vision of that. EXO were
Who are we
the team that
fighting?
was pretty much the westernmost drop.
Oh, it's still that
on
same
the
squad
southern
that's
side of the
burrowed
map.
into that
Most of the teams
building.
Up towards Skyhook were another question altogether. And that would be Truth, who have made
Thanks
their
for
way
your
quite
sub,
far
Sonic.
through the north, come down from Climatizer. But they're both still having to play edge pretty much because this has been a really long rotate for both of those two teams, and it obviously will continue to be as the zone moves further and further away from them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep, east again, and look at Moist. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Moving out over Overlook to get that info again and again and again. They know that they really
Yeah.
only have to cover off
Omniscient.
one side with that shield because everyone else is west of them, so they can get that info, and
Yeah.
they'll know where that next ring is going.
Good
Thanks
little
for your
theory
sub, Sonic.
crafting there from you, Elfish. You're correct. Using that Newcastle shield in place of the Gibraltar protective dome there to grab that info. And yeah, look, I guess it's kind of like the most likely, I suppose, you would expect is that the continued hard shift here. But as I said, I wouldn't be banking on that if I was any of these teams. But
Yeah,
you've got to make a choice. You've got to make a choice one way or the other.
Oh, Val.
I think if I'm
Ooh.
in this
Damn.
game, I'm probably hedging my bets into
Strafing
one of the
Flame almost went
buildings
down. That would have been
nearby
helpful for us.
to Valiant at the moment.
They're number one
those
right
have
now.
obviously moved their way
It's a solid pick.
into a spot that was kind of occupied by, I think SRY was occupying this building that Moist is in now. They've obviously moved on. So a lot of teams now starting to get a bit of an idea, a bit of a read as to where they need to be going. Truth have lost a player on that most recent rotation. They probably won't have to move again. They can hold on to this position
I think it's a tier 1
for a little
Ashland.
while longer. They'll be right on the edge of the zone, but there might be just enough cover behind this rock face that they can actually use.
Yeah, probably won't get the res off. Valiant, unfortunately, is sitting on top of that respawn beacon. I've got to say that respawn beacon probably gets used almost more than any other. I think in pro games when you're bringing people back in, but that's when you don't have a circle shifting towards Overlook, and you can kind of get some space to yourself to use that to bring a player back
Move your
in.
cam up a little bit. No. I can't do that. It's in a good position.
Oh, Golden Sage, they've put themselves in an interesting position because they are like almost the gatekeepers of this western side of the zone. I'm not sure that's the role they'd like to be filling as a duo. A lot of teams going to have to go past them, through them maybe. Mobius just cancelled for that Phoenix hit. A little bit annoying.
You weren't superstitious. I'm not. It's just a good position is all.
We'll get it done okay.
Certainly got it out for that pylon down in the middle.
Mhm.
Scout
not a
coming
big deal,
out.
though.
I mean, it's not. It's not a huge deal. You know what is a huge deal? How good the Scout is this season, man. I have been... Like, I think that gun is just
Oh,
insane,
man.
and it is crazy to
We
me
oh my
that
God.
they buffed the double
We are
tap
in
on it,
deep right now up here,
once
Jesus.
we get to the Season 15 patch for ALGS. Because, like, I already thought
That
it
is
was
such
one
a
of the
scary
best guns
spot
in
to
the
be
game
for
with
us. What the
changes.
fuck?
It's almost like they bought it out of the care package and, like, and almost didn't touch it. And now that they're buffing it again, man, I am really scared for when I start hearing some light ammo pinging towards me.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I've never been good with tap or burst weapons.
Ooh.
So
Woo!
probably not going to be too
God
good
damn,
for me, but you
MT.
can see MT
Good
being
shots.
able to put it to good use. 100 crack onto someone.
And
Quite
he's got the
far away.
Rampart option as the Rampart version of the gun as well.
Moist set up pretty comfortably, right up the top of this tower. I mean, there's no.
Hey, if they think it's a
really
good
that's gonna
spot, I
put
think it's a
high
good
ground
spot.
on
Again,
them,
I'm not the
so
coach.
they actually
That's just
take
kind of a
their heads
scary
down,
spot to be in because you can't play
way
for
down
any
the
picks
game.
there.
EXO's been eliminated again.
You're looking down the barrel of
Very
4
tough day
teams,
for EXO. It's just not coming
so it's hard to
together.
get any picks, but maybe it's better to slow roll
Yeah,
it
it
like
feels
that.
like they've been putting themselves in some risky spots, sort of taking early
They did
fights
get all the
and then
info,
getting
so they already
getting
know all the
third
zone
party
info.
a lot.
So
As
maybe
we-
it's
as
smart
we've
to just
noted,
prep for the late game.
These games have been very slow, right? And it's maybe there's something they're not used to, because obviously in times past you could take these fights early on, and you wouldn't be punished for them as much. And it feels like today you really are getting punished for taking fights when you're not either extremely clean or extremely separated from the rest of the lobby.
Little bird's eye view of what's going on. But I think for me, obviously Golden Sage going down there.
True.
not a
if we
huge
win this, I'll
surprise
flick
given
my
the fact
wiener
that
at the
they
start
are
of
just
every
a
game.
duo.
Sure.
We're kind of looking at Moist Esports to probably pop off from this position. Valiant as well, having already set themselves up fairly central in the zone. They've been really good today. Those are probably the
Oh,
two teams
man,
that
this-
I'm really keeping
fuck.
an eye on.
This crack shack getting bombarded
You can
over
see
here.
how
There's
busy
3
is just
teams in
starting
it.
to get.
Jesus.
14 teams still alive, late in the game.
You can
Really
see-
not a lot of room to work with.
No, not a lot of room, and that's why Daewar find themselves on top of this building. They just skyward dived in from a southern position, and they were taking a couple of shots from Moist. They had to get onto this side. You can see there's a Watson below them that's just being a little pest and continuously setting up these perimeter fences. Of course, if you've got your pylon set up, it means your fences will come up faster, so you can really just kind of spam them like that. And waste the ammo of the other teams, but hopefully they've got enough that that's not too much of an issue.
Which we could
It's a
stick the
bit of an issue
camera on
for
the
Dooku
Moist
Play,
Choice squad.
because he's alone right now.
Yeah,
His teammates,
there's a way to do
unfortunately
that
not
in
able
the
to join him
future,
this
I'm
later
sure.
stage in the game, but he's
But
got a Kraber, so
not
you
for
never
this
know.
one.
You never know what can happen when that gun is in play.
Yeah, might be able to do a bit of a pop-off moment, but tough considering Akiloni Noob has been spotted there. Tinky B in an interesting spot. It's a good spot for now. They're under a bit of pressure, I think, from the Boogie Boarders, who are just north of them, a little bit further down the hill, but to the northern side of the map.
It's called Command
They're gonna have
Center
to
in the
move their
bigger
way in,
tourneys.
and
Oh,
as
is that
soon
what
as
they call it?
do,
Okay. And that's what that
open
guy was
themselves
asking
up to
about
shots coming
earlier.
through
Okay,
from
makes
Moist
sense.
up on that tower. So keep their heads down as long as they possibly can.
All right, well, these are the 11 squads left in the game, or at least a good stack of them here. As yeah, it actually moved quite south after after continuing east. So we've actually gone back down into those buildings, and teams that were there right from the start, like SRY, are doing pretty well. Though that said, they did lose a member, and they're the ones who's getting their fences sniped out from Daewar.
He's firing off a few shots in the direction of Pricey. Couple landing. I can't
Easy
see
resub.
this being a fun scenario
Veggie.
for Boogie Boarders to make this rotation in, because they're probably the team that has the hardest rotation to make. They don't have their Valkyrie available. So they look like they want to go through the northern side, which maybe is not a bad shout. You know,
Thanks
better
to
the
resub,
enemy that you
Nick.
don't know than maybe the enemy that you do know, considering it will be very tough to get past Stinky B. They will come in behind Truth.
Yeah, this is good.
Oh, that's a big engage.
I think their options here
Let's
are
go,
good,
Truth.
because if they can catch these two
We
teams
gotta get
fighting
Valiant
at the
out.
same time,
Damn.
Valiant have just taken out Truth Esports. They're taking damage from
Damn.
thermite grenades and all this. And if
Damn.
Boogie Boards can
What
get
the
in on the
fuck?
back of it,
Damn.
and lobbing grenades in, Arcstar's going in. If some of those find their mark, they may actually have a chance here to do some damage.
Come on,
in a
Boogie
2v3.
Boarders, get in there.
Rackage
Please.
certainly getting a lot of damage
Son of a bitch.
done,
Fuck.
as Valiant have to really bunker down here. And Boogie Boarders, they've actually taken the space above them. So that was
No, Moist's still
an
in it, but we need
incredibly
Valiant to get
opportune
dropped.
time for them to push in.
They're number
At
one
the
right
end of
now,
the day,
so
that has worked out for Boogie
Take
Boarders,
points
but
away is
Valiant, they don't want to let that one go. They are more than happy to take the fight in onto Boogie Boarders. Pricey already down.
God
And
damn it.
So too will Raki follow. Decisive move from
Back to
Valiant.
back squad
And
wipes.
They are looking like a really good team at the moment, aren't they? Valiant just running through teams.
Oh,
I'll see.
incredibly impressed by them.
Need
And
a stick there.
yeah, look, the other thing that really struck me about that fight, how much it looked like we were back in the Bloodhound meta, right? Where you couldn't be a rat. Where if you had two players on a team, and another team knows it, they
Thanks
will
to
full
Resub
send it
Banana.
at you, because they
Come on.
can't.
Come
you know,
on, boys.
Otherwise, you can't be sure if it's three players in there sometimes, and you don't necessarily, you want to take that fight, take that risk. But that time, they know there's two, and they're
Are
just
we
like,
out of
whatever,
shield
we're
ce-
going
oh,
to win this
goodness.
fight. We
Are we out
will
of shield
absolutely
cells
full
over
send you
here?
immediately before this becomes a problem from us, and they get that
NT
house
and
back
Jaro,
to
not
themselves.
full capped.
Most definitely. Now there is another building with a couple of
No, the
tenants,
spot's
I
good
suppose,
now.
is
The spot is
maybe
very
a
good.
word for it. Daewoo United
Prepping
have
for the late game
roof.
is looking nice now.
SRY, which is actually
They do
just
have
a
the best
duo at the
position.
moment. They're sitting on the ground floor, and Daewoo United in the middle. Actually, I suppose the bottom floor and SRY are on the ground underneath the building.
Oh,
Is probably a better
that
way of
laser beam.
so three teams in that
Oh,
area of the map.
Valiant.
Big contest now coming in on
Okay, Valiant out. Good.
that caravan. Will go back over to Daewoo United, though, who are just firing a few pop shots over at Moist Esports. This is it. Stinky B fighting for control of that caravan. That alternator pylon is doing a lot of work, but is it enough Chris trying to get that revive and isn't quite able to do so.
Okay.
Fall.
Where are we at? How are we looking?
They even had the gold knockdown
Yep.
shield to help the res there with the Newcastle.
Oh,
Obviously,
MT
going
just
to chuck that
getting
across to
beamed.
him. Sad that he couldn't get it up there. Dewa, they've lost birthday boy
Okay.
this end here, unfortunately, because they
That
were in a
spot's looking
fantastic spot,
real
getting
good
so
right
many
now.
kills. They were picking up on the top of that building, but Easy Flash and Bastion do have a chance here to still do bulk damage to the rest of these teams. Moist Esports are still sitting up on the top of that tower, by the way. That's pretty much where the circle is pulling, and they will have the high ground advantage over all of these
Yep,
teams.
we just
for
can't
at
choke
least
here.
Another 10 or 15 seconds.
I think they may eventually have to come off, but will they have to come off before their opponents move out of cover is going to be the big question mark. And I'm actually not sure that they do need to do that. They're about as central as you're going to get when it comes to cover, so I think they're really happy with the position that they do have. I mean, 5 bullets.
5
in the
shots in the
for
Peacekeeper.
MT is really not a
Oh,
whole
we're
lot
going.
to play with now. Only 4. Surely he'd be using the scout at this point if he had anything left in that one. So I think they're
Oh,
really running
no,
out of
no,
ammo.
no,
They
no.
will have been firing a lot off, and they do.
Come on,
decide
boys.
to
Come on, boys.
time.
There you go, Walty.
Got Jaro on one side, Waltzy on the other side of the high ground, and 505 down on the floor right
Easy
now.
Flash.
Just completely keeping themselves out of this fight. They were
Well-
united. Caused a real number to Moist, and it's actually 505 that are going to walk away with the win.
That's
They were kind
tough.
of the winners by default there, Elfish, because Easy Flash popped off. Moist were like, okay, we've got a duo. We'll just go over and finish these guys, and then, you know, we can do
Yikes.
505 however it happens. They pop around the corner, and Easy Flash is easy.
To be fair, it wasn't just Easy Flash.
I think he
They got
managed to
shot in the
take out
ass real
2 of
hard.
The Moist members there, and
They got
basically
laser
deny
beamed.
them what looked like it should have kind of been their first win of the day after, you know, struggling
Fuck.
a couple of times here to sort of make it into that late game. Moist finally find themselves there and get stopped just
Thanks
by
for
a
resub, Germ.
rampaging
The Prime
Easy
Shrek.
Flash.
Yeah, look, I mean, end of the day, what a crazy finish that was. If you would have freeze framed that when there was 3 teams left, I'm going to say Moist Esports wins. in the position that
Yep.
they're in.
Yep.
I do want to know
Low
though,
ammo.
like what their
It was just- that was tough.
Did they have much in the ways of grenades or shields or meds? Did they have much ammo? Because it was empty that we were looking at that was like using the Peacekeeper with 5
Yeah.
bullets from range when he's got a scout. You can't tell me that if he's got bullets in that scout.
Second's good
he's
though.
not using the
Yeah,
scout
I don't know where that
for
puts
scout
us. Let's
and
see. Did
saving
it
those
update?
5 Peacekeeper shots for when they drop.
Because we didn't get many kills there. Oh, it puts us to 3rd. Okay, that works. Okay, hey, we take that. That's still fine. That's still very manageable. Perfect. Okay. Thanks to give sub Mickey. We had a lot of kills. What? When? They only got I think they had 3, right? Because they got the second to last squad. We went into this with 19, right? So they just got the last 3, which I guess is good enough. They had 8. They had 8. What? Win. Click on game 4. Oh, they had win. I wasn't looking at their eliminations when we switched to them, but they are mainly playing for position. When did they get 10 kills? Holy fuck. Yeah, I guess I need to pay more attention to the kill feed instead. Because first, like, shit. Nah, that's maybe a little exaggeratory. But it was mainly a game playing for position. I guess I just completely missed it in the kill feed. I thought they only got the last one. That's huge for us then. They got the kills at the end from the tower. I guess I just must have missed it in the chaos, in the panic. All right, all right, all right. Huge. Yeah, once the command center is set up and I can actually spectate, it'll be so much like easier to keep up with. Is the Prime Nitro in Twisted? When is the next game? They usually take 5 minutes in between.
Top spot. They were United. I mean, they get themselves back up there as well into fourth, and so a few teams really hanging around that could cause problems for Valiant with 2 games to go.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big start for them, but they've really tapered off after that. That said, it has, continued to buoy them. But with 2 games left, yeah, there's definitely options for people to get over the top. It feels like, we're not getting a world record sort of point scoring day here, Elfish. We're sitting at a top of 51 points. After,
might just need a hard
4
Johnson
games,
flick.
means,
Yeah, the Johnson
I think
flick
it's
ended
gonna
up
be one of those
working
tight
out.
finishes where it
Maybe
looks
I'll give a
yeah,
little
maybe
flick on each
67
one.
Points is that cutoff for taking out the dub and the 25 split.
Is Moist out? What? No. There's still 2 more games, and we're 3rd right now. Did you get your runecrafting pet last night? Ban that guy. You hurt my feelings. No, I didn't get him. No pet. Unlucky. Okay, while they're on break, I'm gonna go fill up my water. Maybe grab a little snack. Be right back 1 sec. Thanks, resub Trey. I'm back. Thanks for your sub, Cyracto. There's the prime cones. Yep, we're going into game 5. No, coin flips are easy. You just have to bet on heads. I just read Elon's tweet. Regarding Twitter's reduction in force, unfortunately, there's no choice when a company is losing over $4 million a day. Everyone exited, was offered 3 months of severance, 50% more than legally required. Losing $4 million a day. I don't really know how that's calculated, I guess. How do you calculate the loss per day on employee salaries? Just add up their salaries and divide it by the days? I guess that could work. Ain't doing shit anyway. Oh yeah, Twitter was a super bloated company. I agree with that. It just seems a little wild to reduce it by like 70%. It's going to be really hard to do that whole content moderation thing he was talking about when you have like less than half of the employees available. But we'll see. Alright, game 5, baby.
Yeah, it's there's a lot to consider there, isn't there? I'm just having a look at where these teams are dropping. Sneaky B, no longer in Dome. They've actually moved over to launch site for today. I don't know if that'll stay the same with all the groups. You know, maybe they just want to get out of Zugu Players' way. Haven't been able to reach an agreement about where they should be ending up.
Okay.
And then, yeah, just... Okay, yep.
I hate to cut you off, but I am seeing MDY. They did drop in Lava Siphon last game, if you remember. They've actually kind of half dropped at Big Mord this time. You can see on the minimap here, and that's sort of chased Sway away from Big Mord. So for SRY, who were getting Lava City and Big Mord, they're going to be a bit unhappy with that.
There's a tier 1 map.
Out on a bit of loot, but neither team really running into one another. They've both hurt each other and kind of just parted ways.
Interesting drop here for our boys.
Like
yeah, it's a power move, really.
In Lava City, but yeah, as you say, it's a big downgrade for SRY, who would love to be picking up the double crafters, the beacon, the upgraded rampart guns. You know, that's a pretty nuts amount of loot and information to be getting out of there.
There's a scrims? Nope. This is the first ALGS back, baby.
See, we've got RWD here over at Landslide, and Golden Sage. I'm not sure if they actually dropped in the same spot, because they are only just making their way over to Countdown right now, which I'm assuming must have been the hot zone, because they've...
Are we going aggressive here?
Longbow.
Well, we'll keep our eyes on...
Isn't this where NS was?
Are making a pretty early rotation out of Lava Siphon. They don't actually have the second ring
No, maybe
information.
not.
That's why they're headed over to Ghost Town here to sort of hit that beacon. Had a bit
Did
of
you flick?
info,
Oh yeah, I'll flick.
Presumably,
There.
they'll obviously make their
Gave it a
rotation
cheerful little flick.
accordingly. As you said, this does get a little bit scarier when you've only got the Newcastle shield instead of the Gibraltar shield. So you can see the shots coming through from Overlook, but none of them actually connecting onto Waltzy there. So he'll be okay. And information that the zone is headed up toward Epicenter is going to keep Moist pushing their way northward.
Yep. Teams Valk holding into survey camp already. Valiant. These guys just have their, have their eyes on the prize this series, don't they? They are well. They're already in the single building that's to the north of Epicenter.
Thanks,
It's
Resub
very
Dragon.
hard to find good cover and good places to play from up there. But player K, who's got that Watson heirloom in his hands, is going to be ready to be doing something like that. But if we go further down the map, teams are going to have to fight
Thanks, the
their
Resub
way
Kibbles.
through to make it up. And you can see that Skyhook is where things are going to be heating up here. Truth is going up against Hermagerd.
Hermagerd indeed, and they've actually got to be aware as well because RWD is booking their way through
Oh, man.
that choke point in the
He is
direction
getting
of Skyhook.
blasted.
It's actually kind of good that they've been able to push out of the tunnel because otherwise they would have been stuck in a sandwich. Now, those shots may be actually more likely to go in onto Truth once RWD does arrive. Either way, I think both Hermagerd and Truth are kind of happy to let this one all by the wayside and disengage from it, which is a very wise decision because RWD, they were really looking for that third party. Not going to get it this time.
Yep, charging through the tunnel. But yeah, they back off. I mean, these guys are in the circle, right? The rounds.
Do we know if his team is
2 minutes
mouse and
until the
keyboard
round
or
closes,
controller?
they've got a bunch of time
Oh,
after
both.
that as well. So they, they're under no pressure to really move
Pretty much
out
every
or
team has
figure out
mouse and
this
keyboard
position,
and controller.
so they can move on.
Well,
And
actually, I think
the
there's.
other thing I'll touch
I'm
on
not
quickly
too
is,
familiar
it's
with
just
the
funny to think
Apex
that
scene,
Suicide
like the
is
other
not
big
on
team,
course
or
to
the
go. I mean,
like
that's
the
wild, right? I mean, this guy made that
other,
pick his
like,
own, and this was
smaller-ish
well before
teams.
a caustic meta.
But
This
most
was
of them
well
have
before teams
keyboard
like,
and
Reignite
controller.
or Dark Zero were picking up that caustic. He's been playing it for that long, so to see him move over to the Watson is quite a shift in tone for the whole region, let alone for Natsuru-sama himself.
Yeah, it definitely was kind of his thing, wasn't it? But, I mean, as far as swaps are concerned, I sort of feel as though Caustic into Watson still fills a similar role. So
Defensive
maybe there's
legend.
a degree of comfort there still for
NA's mostly controller now.
Bangalore smokes, obviously...
Is it
we've touched on
mostly?
it a couple of
I know there
times,
was a
so
bigger
it's
switch to
Bangalore.
controller, but I don't think
Not,
I'd say
legend that you see very
mostly.
often, but it is a
Unless maybe I haven't been
legend
keeping
that
up
EXO
enough
have
with
been
the
known
NA
to play
scene.
fairly often. So they kind of got that one little bit of point of a difference for most teams. It's kind of a nice little alternative, I suppose, to the Jibby bubble in some cases. You see them
What's the
come
advantage
there on
controller?
Replicator
Just
to
aim assist?
Replicate a little bit safer.
More or less.
Can fill that role. It's always nice to see
It's
teams
helpful,
having a little bit of a
obviously.
different take on what to bring to the table. But
It is.
I gotta say, it's not working today.
Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, how many Seers do we have in the game again? I mean, your smokes are useless against the Seer ultimate, right? It's just it feels like the situations in which that would be useful are really diminished when you have this many
The close
wall
range
hacks
fights,
currently
yeah.
working
You can't beat the
in
aim
game.
assist
So,
on controller
look,
at close
they're
range.
gonna-
It's so
they're gonna
strong.
Keep trying it. Doesn't matter if it's world edge.
Distance,
Storm Point,
mouse,
they're
and
still
keyboard, I
bringing
think,
it
is always
out,
going to
but,
win, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll be interested to see if they stick with that throughout the entire season.
They were United right on top of Epicenter. They were actually one of the first teams to rotate into the second zone, and well, they've taken King of the Hill kind of position. Stinky B underneath, and EXO talking about that Bangalore are going to get themselves into a fight. They've already found themselves a knock that was onto No Name, courtesy of Ziki. They're fighting over Landslide, which is really not premium territory at the moment. Killer Pods will just lose that engagement.
Close.
The trade doesn't actually come through from EXO, so it's a 2-for-2, or 2-on-2 at the moment.
Oh!
There's
yeah.
some good
Team
shots in
up.
though from
Clean up.
Dexter.
They do manage to get the shield bats off, but they're still down a player at this point. So EXO finally have found that isolated fight that they wanted to, Elfish. As you said, it's not premium territory, but that's where you want to be as an edge team.
Was the
Because
treasure
that means
trove
you're not
for
getting
this?
Third party, and we've seen that
I'm
happen
not
way
sure
too
how
many
much money's
times
on the
for
line here.
EXO
It's
so far
mainly
in this
fighting to
series.
get to the
Yeah, they'll be able to do
championship
some
stage,
replicating
like
out there
Worlds.
as well. themselves ready to make the rotation in. Got a little bit of time to work with, a couple of minutes before the zone shift does begin. GQ under a bit of pressure toward the northern side of the zone, and that is, I think, going to continue to mount because there's more and more teams making their way through this area of the map. MDY only just now going to start coming down from the north, and that might actually be the third party that neither GQ or Valiant want to be seeing. There's a kill on the Strafing Flame from Big Boss, and here comes MDY. What can they do about this?
Already down a player, just trying to stall out with a couple of grenades there. As you said, that...
Yeah, this is big for us. This is a good opportunity. Valiant down early.
Exactly where you want to be. The thermite grenades do land, and Feiju is looking to take advantage of that. They do, and GQ goes out.
Yeah, Valiant just hanging on with player K right now. Has got himself tucked down in the crevasse near the lava lake. And actually, MDY is going to make their way forward. They're going to continue to push. They're looking now at free agents on the bridge. They're going to try to take a fight against
this
that,
team's
and
playing
that
so aggressive.
It's a really good push from MDY. They know free agents are weak. They saw Belkin with the white armor, Mexus with the blue. They've got that knock.
If they knock out free agents here too, that'd be really good because free agents is second.
Well, they get further and further in. The flatline from Feiju, it was enough to take out GQ, and he's going to pressure even further. Free agents not completely out yet. Lahim has managed to make his
Valiant still has
way
one
out
player
there,
alive.
but
Yeah, I
doesn't
see
even
him hanging
manage to pick
out
up
down
banners.
below.
We've seen a lot of respawns today, I will say that.
I thought they were out.
Okay, I did think maybe he had a chance of going for the banners there while MDY was a bit occupied with free agents. He didn't opt to go for it, and now obviously Strafing Flame timing out.
Please resub yonder.
Will as well, because MDY are still sitting on top of those boxes. So it will just be player K to try to hold on to this one for Valiant, which is very important considering they're the team at the top of the lobby. We really have to keep an eye and see on what player K can do in terms of getting them some more placement points. If he can, you know, rat his way through to a reasonable placing, get another 3, 4, 5 points on the board, that could well shore them up for a first place in this lobby. If he's unable to do that, though, you know, you're
really just need to knock out player K like ASAP.
Moist Esports and They Were United, maybe we talked about them as well. Free agents, although they are down to just a solo, to sort of come back into the swing of things and maybe challenge for first place.
Yeah, it feels like he's going to be doing solidly either way, right? I mean, there was a bit of a buffer there. Not too many teams putting up the big points today, but yeah, look, the difference between first and getting 25 points or slipping down there and only grabbing, say, like 18 or 17 could be a big difference, you know, at the end of this split when you're trying to either make it into that top 20 or make it into land. So, yeah, as you say, a couple of placement points could make all of the difference here for Valiant, who've had such a fantastic start to this split one.
Yeah, SRY putting another consistent foot forward. Set themselves up on the northern side of Fragment West, alongside a bunch of other teams, it must be said. Again, I suppose it's not too much of a
Where are
surprise
we?
given the compositions that we've got being run
Where'd
by
we
the
go
majority of the
to?
lobby, that we're going to be seeing a lot of teams happy to set up inside of buildings.
Actually, sir, I might have got that wrong. Laheen did have the banners, and he has gone over and rezzed them at the respawn
Jaro went
that
down?
we were just
Oh my God,
talking
fuck, I
about the
wasn't looking
game
at the kill
before. The one over in Overlook. So he's off screen right now. He's actually to the right because he's all the way out in the zone, and they're
Like
actually
knocked
going
or
to,
out.
just quickly try
I don't
and
see how he
run
would have been
for
out.
medkits, and then they'll be
They didn't
coming
get
back
pushed. I imagine he just went down.
inside. But yeah, look back up to the full 3 players.
Still a pretty tough situation for them. They've obviously not going to get themselves too much loot in the time that they've got available to them. They'll also kind of have to go through 505, who would have seen
Finished him? How?
the respawn ship coming.
What, like a
there, and
Kraber?
the
What the
way that
fuck?
there's a team behind them inside the zone. Axelic really keeping an eye.
There's
on
no
that.
way. He had to just been knocked.
I think it's still going to be a pretty cursed game here for free agents. They are going to need to pull off a miracle to be able to overtake Valiant with this one, I believe. Maybe they can do that.
That's
Maybe
upsetting.
today.
All right. Player down then.
So as the circle's shifted sort of under Epicenter, we're seeing these this region become a little bit more desirable, and teams like Boogie Boarders, who are set up on the train station, or Hermagerd, who are just a little
Hopefully
bit
they got his
north
banner.
of the Boogie
Yeah, I mean, I didn't
Boarders
even see it.
now.
Must have been on a
Looking
rotation. I
actually in
have
a-
no
in a
idea.
fairly
Because they didn't get
situation.
pushed.
EXO a bit further to the
So
south.
it had to just be mid-rotation.
Also on that similar train track line. And then you got a lot of teams still sitting within Fragment West.
Let's go here. Allons-y.
Oh my god, just being very patient, aren't they? Alright, here comes the Skyward Dive. Where are they going to end up?
I'm surprised that they're pulling it that far, actually. I mean, they don't have the info about where this circle is going, and the circle is going to Fragment West. So look, it's the right call. Maybe they've seen some other teams Valcolting and just sort of taken their cues from that.
Oh, they've landed right under SRY, just for those that are wondering where they ended up. So just on the northwestern corner of Fragment West. Not exactly the greatest of places to be when there's teams right above you going to be able to throw down some shots and util and stuff, but maybe they can carve out their position inside the zone. Lahim, Belkin, and Anxious, that's free agents making their way
Ooh, they're
in.
about to get sent. Whoa, what's happening with
And
the
as we
screen?
mentioned, they're going to have to go past 505. You've got Daiwa United as well, hanging around in this area
no.
of the map. And
This
for-
is a
for free
scary
agents,
spot.
just down to a couple of white armors. It's not going to be a fun run in.
Oh,
Esports
God,
have
this is
Osaro.
rough.
Not sure what their chances
Come
of
on,
getting
boys.
those are.
Squeak it out.
Probably
Squeak
not
it out
very.
for us.
There's a lot of teams congested up toward Epicenter.
Yeah, there is a respawn beacon not too far away from them, right? But as you say, they would have to clear out, as a duo, probably
Good shots, good
Golden
shots.
Sage and MDY.
Yeah, it's going to need to be a
Shots
big
coming in there
disengage
from
there.
Boss.
Oh,
They
no.
get
Oh,
off.
no.
He's still under that pressure. Gonna have to pop the bat. The alternator pylon does go down as well. The micro
Damn,
drones
tough.
causing
That's so tough.
problems. I mean, it's all pain at the moment for Moist, isn't it? MT, he's going to get knocked. Waltz,
Damn,
he managed to
yeah.
get that bat off, but he's going to have to play for himself at this point. And
Let's go,
I'm not
Waltzy.
sure that's gonna last.
Make a miracle happen.
Yeah, it almost
Waiting
popped
for
at a
push.
good time because the Arcstar, of course, does more damage to shields than it does to health. So it damaged his health just before he got the
Just
bat off
play
and
like a
managed to,
rat.
fully get his shields back up and running. But yeah, look, just by himself there, that's going to be a very tough
Damn.
ask. They know he's there. The Seer gets the scan onto him.
Yeah,
You can
he
see
got
all three
scanned.
members
Unlucky.
aware of where the solo is.
Ah,
and
it's
as
so
well,
sad.
He's not long for this world.
Yeah, speaking of as well, free agents did just get knocked out as well. They went out in 14.
I don't know what happened to Jaro. That's
Which
unlucky.
is actually really good news if you're a Valiant
Being a
fan.
man down
I mean,
that
the two
late
teams
is
that are
tough.
basically hot on the heels of Valiant have been pretty much taken out
Thanks
of the
to
game
resub
without
bees.
point, or, with maybe some kill points here and there, but nothing really too substantial. So even if Valiant hasn't had a very good game here, you're still sort of seeing their closest competitors are also struggling, which means net neutral, really, for Valiant. It was Valiant, Moist, and Free Agents. All three of those teams toward the top of the scoreboard have all dropped already in this game.
Thanks, resub Gorgasmic.
Couple of the big dogs out. Maybe a chance for some of those teams to lower down to make their play now. Still 2 games to do that, of course. A 16
I flicked
series,
my
we're in
wiener.
game
I
5.
see. Superstition's not real.
MDY perhaps looking to make their move now because MDY White, they're currently sitting on 7 kills in this game. We've seen a bunch of those happen already, and they're not done with it yet. Obviously, Elfish, they're still pushing, and it's Mingwei as kill leader with 4. They're just above Easy Flash, actually. Yeah, nice, perfect timing there from our observers to show the awesome rat spot in the lava. But we were kind of talking about this before.
Smart.
Sia, he's going to be popping that heartbeat sensor to try and
Back
work
down to
out,
4th. We're probably
where
going to
this-
drop further than
this,
that.
where this legend
D was
is,
farming
right?
some
So
points
FaZe
here.
is going to be letting them know that there is someone
And
nearby.
they were in 4th.
And honestly,
They're
it's
gonna
not
move
even
up.
gonna be an awesome rat spot for that much longer.
I can't remember who was in 5th, but I imagine they're probably still in here, so we're going to
Easy
drop pretty
Flash,
hard, I
MDY
think.
White, everyone really up there is going to have to move their way down to the marketplace that Pricey is in. You've got Dugu Play. sitting on,
Leaderboard's
like,
already
that
updated.
building
Well,
that
yeah, but
is
we don't
at
know
the
who
edge of
wins
the
this one
bridge.
yet.
So those are kind of where we're
like,
going to end.
Like, EXO could
Because
pop
everyone
off
else
here and
outside
go
is
from
gonna have a
9th
big
place
fight
to
in just a
3rd
moment.
place.
There's an
Like,
EMP out. EXO going to be copping that.
up against
Chambers.
Emmanuel.
Yeah, their former teammate as well is going to be pushing their way in on top of them. It's going to be a bit of a mess.
the stream is 10 minutes
Northside
delayed.
Just trying to hold
Is
tight
that-
here.
Is that
Uh,
accurate?
They might be able to come on top of this kill. There
don't
is a
believe that.
duo sitting outside. They've been spotted, though. Some of them going down now as well. EXO
Then you
being
can just
very
get
clean
spoilers
so
by just
far
looking
in
at the
pushing this
leaderboard.
out, but other teams are thinking about it too. Seer Ultimates coming down from the north side. SRY are looking to finish off this. And is this yet again EXO biting off more than they can chew?
Oh, I think it absolutely is. Killer Pulse, I'd be really surprised if he gets out of this one alive. Quick armor swap, keeps himself healthy. He goes for another, gets up and over the top. Good movement here from Killer Pulse. And somehow, he's going to get out of that one alive, at least as an individual. But EXO certainly will not be getting any more members back up. He's going to have to try
Says
to
the
rat it
game
out
ended
here.
in the leaderboard.
It's still a very busy
fucking
side of
way.
the zone. He has just gotten out of the majority of that engagement. You are going to be seeing Emmanuel really in the thick of things against MDY. SRY as
Wow.
well. I think they've just gone down. Emmanuel does eventually drop. Hermagerd up into the middle of the market. I'm going to take the fight to Truth. There's multiple fights happening all over this final circle, and none of them look fun.
Well, all right.
MDY, they need to
There's
get
the
Meiji
spoilers.
back up, and Hermagerd at the top here. And it looks like
That's
they're fighting for
interesting.
market, right?
All right,
Of course, market,
so we need a
we'll see
good game
what it
6
is.
because it's
Frankfurt
a
West
very,
zones, it
very
often
competitive
ends up
top
around
7 here.
either market or just north of it. So of course, teams are setting
I think
up
we need
all
at
of
least
their
top
Watson
5.
defenses over here. MDY, they did finally manage to finish off EXO. And they
That
managed to
was
get
a
Paige
really
back up
rough
as well. So
game
they
for
are on
us,
track
though.
to have an
So
absolutely
we gotta
ridiculous
bounce back
game
hard.
if they
We
can
need
take
a
out the
huge
W.
game 6.
If being the operative word, because there's still quite a few really solid teams here. I mean, I think positioning
Thanks,
for
Resub
Truth is
Stark.
pretty good. Do good play as well. They've been really keeping their heads down, so I think in terms of what they've got available,
Damn, I actually
there's
wish
probably a lot to play
No one
with in
told me
terms
that
of the
because
meds.
now I can just well,
Ammo's looking a little bit dry on them as I just
yeah,
cycled
I guess
through
it makes
the-
sense. But now you can just
But
look at the leaderboard because it
Nate's got
updates
in
before the
back pocket.
games.
Either way, we're in the eye of the storm now. We've seen a lot of fighting. It's slowed down a little bit. As
Yeah.
this ring starts to push its way forward, that's where it's going to pick back up again.
Yeah, you can see there, I Kill Only Noob, 0 heavy. Moonlight Tears, his compatriot there has 1 clip left. So they've got obviously 0 heavy to share around. A couple of loot boxes would do them a world of good. And of course, you're just going to start seeing those Seer ultimates. Everyone knows where everyone is. There's no fog of war in Apex Legends.
Certainly not. And that is a very nice couple of shots initially from
Oof.
Mitsuru Sama, but still no knock. Absolutely obscene. At least not from him. There are knocks coming through onto the team that he is shooting at, but for Truth, they haven't really been able to get too much out of that. Just the 1 kill onto Mobius. Either way, still looking fairly healthy. And just playing as much as they can with that zone. They've got the castle walls up here as well. Putting down the fences. Trying to make life as difficult as possible for anyone headed in their direction.
Do one of the boys on Moist stream? Waltzy streams a lot.
5 squads left alive, 3 within market, and you can see the 2 that have got
He
their
grinded to
step
rank
pylons
1
set up
Predator.
down the bottom here.
He
That's
streamed, like,
MDY
all of
to
that.
the left, and Dugu play to the right.
I will say, Dugu Play, even though they've got 3 members here, are pretty much a duo because I Kill Only Noob has, as we've said, 0 ammo in the flat line, and now he's also
No
got
full
0
screen. Oh,
ammo
no, I was
in
full
his
screening, but
R301.
then
He's
we
going to have to get in
backed
there
out to see
and
this.
get his punch on because he has literally
that's
got
already
no
updated.
ammo, and that's going to be really great news
So
for
we
everyone
dropped to
else.
4th.
Truth Esports pushing their way forward. Going to have 1 less player to worry about, but now they've only got 1 player to worry about. It's Mitsuru Sama trying to keep himself alive and healing on up. Can't get any reses out there. Truth down. Hermagod down. It is just the 3 members. I'm still watching I Kill Only Noob using his melee tool to try to win the fight. It's 3-on-3 against
What?
MDY White. He's punching them, but it's not
What?
enough. MDY White
Was he out of
will
ammo?
walk away with the victory, and you've got to
What a
imagine
maniac.
what a difference some bloody ammo could have done there for Dugu Play.
I mean, bloody's the right word. He was
Thanks to the
almost
tier
getting
1
his knuckles
Taki.
bloody.
Or
Of course,
Aki.
he did have the Watson heirloom, so, you know, as you said, he's tall. Just whacking away with it there.
Yeah.
Man, I think the thing that really struck me there, though, was MD White just being nice and patient. Right?
All right. Last game. Need a great game 6 here from the squad in order to clinch. Thanks to resub, Simothy. Don't spoil game 6. Oh, I won't. Oh man, this is such a tight race here. These resub tactical. How many points do they need to qualify for global? Well, it's too early for that. I just know they need top 5 for the next spot, I think. I'm pretty sure. Could be wrong, actually. I can't recall. No flick this game, just raw dog it. That's the plan. No flick. No flick. All natural. Thanks for your sub, Soda Cat. Yeah, there's a 5-minute break before game 6. Thanks to the bits magic. No, I'm not clapping my cheeks. We're just gonna hit this like gentlemen. Very politely. And with a thank you, madame. Oh, I'm tired. Yeah, it's late. I'm fucking tired. Oh man, they haven't even taken the 5-minute break yet. Fuck. Damn it. You playing Ragnarok the night it comes out? Yes, of course. Motherload mine upper level? Yeah, of course. That's the only way to do it. Will you play Chant tomorrow? No. Doesn't seem like it agrees with my PC at the moment. What are you grinding on RuneScape at the moment? Mining. I'm at 92. And then after that I'm done with all the boring skills. Then I only have one skill left till max, which is Slayer. Oh, it's gonna feel so fucking nice to be done. Don't think mining is that bad, honestly. At least with MLM, it's pretty AFK, so it's not terrible. And it's moderately fast. It's like 45k XP an hour. It's not terrible. Alright, game 6. Need a big one from the squad. You streaming Ragnarok day 1? I am. I've got a good feeling about this round. Match 6 is where we really pop off. Fallout New Vegas free on Amazon this month. Cool. That'll be cool. Congrats on the 99 mining, Shinra. Thanks, resub Hazy, and the anonymous gift sub. Ooh. Give it a little yawn howl.
Alert 5, Valkyrie actual. Ready for burn.
G'day, welcome back. It's time for the final game
Thanks, you
of
gift sub, Chim,
ALGS
and the
Apex
Prime
South
Cap.
Day 1. Definitely not the final game of ALGS Apex South. That would be very sad. But day 1, it's a half day today. We've only got the one lobby to touch on, and we are into game 6. Things are still a bit spicy, though, Gino. Lots of teams that can still take the cake. Gotta say, though, Valiant, the front runners, looking pretty good to hang on.
Yeah, did they get... I feel like they were 51 at the end of game 4, if I'm not crazy, right?
You're right.
Yes, they did not get a point last.
Yeah. So they've picked up nothing in game 5, and really just off the back of that one giant game in game 1, have managed to still be the front runners. So kind of crazy there. That's they're really managing to stay on top.
Yeah, all right. Well, Watson's certainly been a talking point today. We've seen a lot more of it than we have in previous ALGS seasons. We're talking about the top 2 Watson players in this graphic, Player K and Mexius, both having found 10 kills apiece. But, I mean, there's a big damage difference there for Player K.
He's the prime crispy.
And obviously for Valiant, they have been a very successful team. You'll see them at the top of the scoreboard right here. 51
All right,
points. This is
need a
how
big
we're
one.
looking going into the final
Okay.
game of the day. They've got
Stretch it out. Just gotta
that
stretch it out.
8-point gap over free agents, 10 over MDY White, and 11 over Moist. So I think it's any one of those 4 teams that could potentially walk away with the win in this game. It's not to say it's impossible for anyone below that, but it would need to start being a pretty big game to make that happen.
Yeah, and it makes a big difference, right? Whether you're in those top couple of spots, like once you go far enough down the leaderboard, you're only grabbing, kind of 1 point per placement. But up at the top, you're grabbing like 2 or 3. So you really want to be on the top of the standings to get a good start here to split one in year 3. We're looking at teams like Moist, who they're currently sitting at 4th. But only a couple of points behind. A couple of points in this last game could make a very big difference in where they sit at the end.
Amen.
Indeed.
Amen.
Obviously, for Valiant, I think at this point it's just about trying to get every single point that they can. Even 1, 2, 3 points, as you say, could be all that they really need to hang on, especially if it's like the last game. If all those top teams get knocked out pretty early on in the piece, then maybe the job will be done for them.
All
already.
right.
But we're here for game number 6.
Let's
We'll see
let's
whether or not
clutch it
they're gonna
out.
Be able to beat Valiant.
Let's make
to the
like my
punch
nuts
tonight, or if Valiant
and
have already
hold
done
them.
enough and they're going to be able to hang on to that top spot. Certainly been looking good for them. If I had to sort of hedge my bets, I'm probably putting them with Valiant. I think they have slowed down as the day has gone on, but it doesn't really seem like anyone else has significantly chased them.
Yeah, well, that might be that difference between World's Edge and
So I
Storm,
imagine they
right?
are
I mean,
not going to
we
be
were always
taking
trying to
any
figure that
risks
out
on
last,
this one.
Last season,
Probably playing it
was
super safe, probably
Dark
playing
Zero, who were
zone, if
amazing
I had to
at
guess.
World's Edge, and then it
And
was
that's
the
the right
second
way to
place
do
team,
it.
Sutraiku,
Are we being
at
challenged at Lava
times,
Siphon?
that were really good at Storm Point.
Oh, no.
And you
They're
saw them
definitely
sort
going
of
to
trade
Dome.
blows across those 2 maps, and they certainly would get bulk of their points in sort of one versus the other. So maybe that's what we're seeing from Valiant here, with a great start off at Storm Point, and then really tapering off when we get into the older map in the competitive rotation.
Yeah, I mean, something that we probably do need to think about going into next week and the following weeks is which teams have performed well on what maps. I think that's always an interesting statistic to look at in Battle Royales. Circle has popped, and it's pretty standard. Center of it is pretty much over the top of Fragment East, if that gives you an idea. I'm sure most of you will be familiar with this kind of a circle. A lot of teams quite happy with that
How
one.
long has Moist
Again,
Since when did Moist Esports Apex?
Beacon
Like 2
in
months?
Lava
3
Siphon.
months? Ish? I don't know, somewhere in that
No
ballpark.
Beacon in
This is our
Lava
first
Siphon.
ALGS
Just
though.
to see whether or not Moist will make that same early rotate that they did into the Ghost Town area.
They are definitely going to. As you said that,
Yeah.
I was mousing over them, and they pinged exactly the beacon you're talking about in Ghost Town. So they will definitely be going there. But, who else is going to be joining them there?
ATs.
Right? I mean, there's...
Oh man,
there's
that was a good
beacon
stretch.
in Geyser, MDY, who are a duo. Would they really want to contest for that? You never know. But other teams rotating through there might be looking for that as well. It is one of those kind of halfway houses that you sometimes see teams pick up if the beacon, of course, doesn't spawn there. Because if you guys don't know, it's not a 100% chance, right? The beacons are somewhat random around the map. There's different chances for them to spawn at the different POIs. Sometimes it doesn't go your way.
Northside Esports. It's not looking so crash hot. Emil just honestly playing the statue game. Red light, green light. That's what it's called.
Is the game lagging or something right now?
Direction, at least at the moment.
What's happening?
A bit of a rotation coming in from T-Mop from Thermal Station that might well run into him and very quickly clean him up. He hasn't been spotted though, so he'll be all right. EXO
He's a prime
is
victor.
another one of those teams that would really love
Okay, let me
to
try
have
something.
game
Maybe
close.
is it just on my end?
Probably not displayed
No.
their best foot forward
It is
today
not.
so far. And they're probably not going to be able to do so. They don't have any opportunities left. So at the very least, close the day strong. Bump yourself up a couple placement
Thanks,
points.
Risa
Get some
Boyo.
of those overall season points in your back pocket and focus in on next week.
Team up making the rotation through Harvest. A couple of teams having a ping at them. There's the one member of Northside Esports left alive. You can see here Emil. He's just having a look at EXO, who are the team on the hill there. They were pinging. Team
North
up as
side
they're
going down
up
is good
that
for us.
balloon.
Fight.
Okay,
He's literally
that's
taking the fight.
That's pretty ambitious of him. Is the
You
word
know-
I would use.
I think there's a little bit of a, it's game 6.
Damn, why
Sure.
is it so
I just
laggy?
get this
Hold on,
over
let me
and
try
done with.
refreshing. Is it
So
my,
it's a
is
point
it on
in-
my end?
I suppose.
And it does provide the window for
Oh.
Team Up to get out as well. So they were sort of shot off the balloon a little bit there, and then they used the Skyward Dive instead to head east and head in towards.
Thanks, Resub Toxic.
Interestingly, a lot of teams have actually read this as a Geyser circle, have they? No, might just be Moist. Might just be Moist getting stops there. Because Dewa, you can see there.
Okay. Walty got 2 down.
Frankly, you should be right now, but there's actually 3 or 4
Close 'em out,
teams,
close 'em out.
clustered around Geyser, and I wonder. A couple of them have the info, so I'm sure they'll make it out of there eventually. But
He's a
I
prime
just
subject.
wonder if
Come
Moist,
on.
who never made it all the way up to that beacon, if they're thinking that there's all these other teams here, so they've got the circle, and that's where we need to play from. Because sometimes you've just got to take
No, I don't
that
get the kill
read
feed. So
off the other
did they
teams
did they
around you.
close it out?
Yeah, so what
They must
happened
have
there
squads
is
down.
TV and Emmanuel were in a bit of an engagement over at Geyser.
That should be 3 for
That's kind of
Moist.
Brought Moist over. They'd heard those shots and sort of thought, all right, well, instead of rotating our way up to get the beacon info, let's try to get a third party here and
That's
see if we
big.
can
That's good for
pick
us.
up a couple of extra points on the way through. Hasn't really worked out in their favor because no knocks actually came through in that initial engagement. And now Moist is almost sort of stuck in the Geyser here. As you say, they don't have the info on where that next circle is going to go. So they're going to have a bit of a rude awakening when they do get that one through. Boogie Borders just outside of Fragment right now. Popping a few
Do they
shots
know?
off.
No! Golden Sage are on the other side of them. They're lining them up for a 3-2-1 right now. They don't manage to grab a down though, but Boogie Borders have been completely routed. Golden Sage on the back of this are in a fantastic spot to end Boogie Borders' run very
Oh, they're
early
getting
here in
fucking
Game 6.
blasted.
Yeah, GP is pushing forward really, really ferociously. He's got a massive in the back pocket there. A bit out of range for that now, and so the flatline does come out, but it does look like Golden Sage want to continue to be taking this fight. And obviously, as you can imagine, Boogie Borders are trying to back off as much as they can. They have had enough time to reset and get their shields off.
Oh,
And actually
Raki
now! Oh, they put so much damage in onto Mobius. Raki also, by the way, is down to a one-shot off of that little bit of a skirmish. So both teams, again, disengaging from one another.
Like not even
this
one
circle.
shot. Like
No, I'm definitely
actually
not
one
flicking.
hell.
The flicking was bad.
Because he was
It's
under,
already looking better without
he
the
was in
flicking.
the lava river, and the other teammates, they'd kind of made it to safety under the bridge, but he was so low that he had to just take that position and heal up, and then just has enough movement basically to get him out of that, and they can reset. Thankfully, of course, it was their defensive hero that was stuck alone, so not able to fortify the bridge immediately, but they do just make it out there. And I'm assuming that Golden Sage are probably going to still force that fight at some point. But we'll move back over to Moist Esports, who are still
Taking some
down
cheeky
there,
shots. I like
guys,
it.
as you can see. And they've got Emmanuel on one side of them, and they've got Dugu Play on the other.
It's probably not the spot
Damn,
you want
that'd
to
be
get stuck
crazy.
in a fight. They do have Skyward Dive available. I mean, it doesn't look like they're under too much pressure, but I'm just a little bit concerned about what this is going to mean for later on down the track. Hermagerd does just get eliminated. That looks to be Cross of Raki as well between Golden Sage and Boogie Borders. Boogie Borders did not get the banner yet. If they got the banner, if they were able to get the banner, there's so much territory out toward the western side of the map that they could find a res in.
Yeah,
They're well on their way away from it. I don't know that they're going to be going back.
Oh man.
Yeah, Price
He's interested.
He's thinking about it. He's got the heartbeat sensor. He's having a go. But look, we'll keep you guys updated on that one. SRY, of course, one of the teams that was we talked about. Very good at placing highly, but not necessarily grabbing the kills. We've got the golden longbow. Again, it's the kind of gun that'll give you a lot of damage, but won't necessarily secure you the KP. They're actually setting up pretty early here in Ghost Town, and I mean, as far as where the ring
Injury
is
sub Winter?
going to shift.
Yeah, no, I think we're still in the same
Yes,
position. I don't think we've
so
rotated or anything yet.
that's-
So we're still locking that shit down up
Together
there.
Because
Okay, it's going over
There's-
towards Overlook. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It is going away. So even the next ring after this one will completely cut out Ghost Town. So look, they'll be okay there for a little while, but they will have to move. It's yeah, I think it's going to be once again Valiant. They're sitting in the same spot they were actually last time. It felt like a little bit unfortunate the way they kind of went out last time. We had the Overlook circle, so perhaps they can learn from their mistakes this time. And then Truth Esports to the north of them. Hopefully this time they can keep up the
Try it.
all three of their members and have a bit of a more successful
Thanks to
push.
Prime,
I
Winter,
mean, the interesting thing
Scion.
about this circle in comparison to the last Oak circle we had was, at least in this case, it's a lot harder for teams to get zone info when they're already in Overlook. So they're not, I guess, 100% sure that this is where the zone is going to be going. They're making that educated guess, as opposed to the previous game where, for a couple of teams, they were able to scan that beacon at Overlook and really know that
Thanks to
where they were
resub.
going was
Fucks with
the
it.
correct place to be. But it looks like most are, reading the circle shift pretty well anyway. I mean, same kind of rotation coming in from Truth. It's, interesting to note, like, they have that set rotation path for this kind of a zone where they come from Skyhook, go across
Okay.
the other side of the map, and then come south from Climatizer. EXO.
Moist
making
playing
the same
outskirts
movement.
here.
I mean, I don't know if we can get footage of the map here, but Moist have made their way, well, or even just of Moist, because you can watch EXO making their rotation right now, but Moist are making a rotation through the tunnel up into Landslide, well out in the zone. So they've gone for a massive rotate back past Harvester, and they are now the team that is so far out of the zone that, it almost beguiles belief that they've managed to get themselves in that position. It's very surprising.
It's
Not
on
even the map
purpose.
here, right? They're further out to the left of that.
Yeah, they're in Landslide. So they might eventually make their way up to Boogie Borders, or at least just Fragment East and do some crafting there. But yeah, we should
These
know
tier
Boogie
one
Borders
Omi.
have managed to grab their,
Jesus
extra man back. So
Christ.
they did finally grab that banner and use one of the beacons. It looks like they used the one at Construction to bring their third member back in. So they're
What
currently doing
the
their crafting,
fuck?
and I think actually this will work out pretty nicely for the ANZ teams in terms of, they'll be able to craft and move on and probably leave that for Moist to make their way in.
Yeah, I mean, you can just see Moist coming in there through the tunnel from Landslide into Fragment. I mean, they're still miles out of the zone.
Yeah, that's gonna
And I think
burn
they're probably kicking
resources.
themselves once they start seeing these circles, because they, again, similar to the last game, could have just made that rotation into Ghost Town, gotten that beacon, and been pretty much set up on the exact same tower that they did play earlier on.
Well, this is essentially
Instead,
why we were
no
having a
choice
look at EXO there, because they've got their sights set on Dugu Play, who's on the edge of the zone. They're kind of gatekeeping. They must
I mean,
have
it's
some
not-
sort of idea that the
to
craft is
stall
being
that
used.
long isn't the
Yeah, they are.
worst
They're actually
plan,
figuring it out so that
'cause
they
we're in
know that
fourth
their team's
place
using
right
the
now.
crafter, but now they have to worry
Just
about
play for
behind them,
position.
as well as Stinky B up here, who are trying to hold that in
It's not like
point holding
a terrible
the last Overlook
idea or
circle, but doing
anything.
it much less successfully.
Just seems really
Yeah,
far
problem is
and
for
gonna
Moist-
bleed resources.
sorry, for Stinky Beat, they've done it a little bit too early there. There's still teams that can get the high ground over them, fire some shots in that direction, and they pretty much just get farmed up there. Has not worked out for them at all. Another team will join the fray in Overlook. That was Golden Sage, just
Plus, the second they get to the
Colting
zone, they're
their
gonna
way
have to
in.
rotate again.
and they are hiding behind the bins. It's not exactly the greatest of cover, but it gives you something to work with. That's your ultimate down as well.
Yeah, GQ's right on top of them, on the top of those silos.
They probably know what they're doing. Well, of course
obviously
they
they've
do.
got the crypto,
It just seems
so that's
kinda
allowing
wild.
them to get a lot of information, as well as just pop the EMPs on top of that team. You can see they're getting pinged by MDY White as well, who are in one of the other buildings in Overlook just to their north. And then in the big rotunda, you've got free agents who are, of course, having a decent day and looking to, really capitalize and push themselves up even further here.
I'm very interested to see how this.
Are
one's
we
gonna play out.
out of the
Teams
storm
actually
yet?
making their
I
rotation
wonder.
in. I it's very busy in Overlook, but still got 16 teams. It's been a crazy, crazy day.
Oh, hey, here we are.
Really promoting a very different play style. Moist Esports, this is going to be a scary rotate because Waltzy and
Yep.
Jara, they're all tagged up in terms of the HP. Sure, they've got full shields, but this is not going to be fun landing very, very low.
Oh god,
And
Jesus
instantly you can hear
Christ.
some shots headed in their direction. EXO are right behind them, hot on their heels. I mean, this is very, very bad if you're a Moist Esports fan.
Yeah, we had Asia from Emmanuel trying to ping them with his missile swarm.
Dugu Play's landing on
Dugu Play goes right next to them. I don't think that's going
Okay.
to be a good spot for
Okay.
Dugu Play. They must have been on the other side of the rock. Perhaps didn't use Valkyrie's passive scan there to realize that there were people underneath them.
We
So
take that.
whilst they managed to survive, a Dugu Play completely wiped out.
Most of those kills, though, do go over the way of EXO, who lost a player in that
Thanks,
meanwhile.
resub.
Dexter on the floor getting res at
Gweg.
the moment.
We take that.
actually probably
We
is
will
good
take
news
that.
For Moist that EXO's not pushing their way in because they have got other problems to deal with. You can see Emmanuel on the opposite side of this engagement, and Moist have no flesh heals really to play with at all. Waltzy has been on that amount of HP for pretty much this entire fight. MT, Jaro, they haven't gone up either, so they've run out of syringes. They've run out of medkits. They may be able to get some off the boxes that Dugu Play
Well,
presented.
They did get another down onto EXO, but it doesn't look like they're going to push it. They keep pinging it.
Yeah, I
But
think
guess
not
they're a
pushing
little
it was
bit
the right
worried about
call.
Emmanuel on the other side. You can see Dexter having to use a Phoenix kit currently. Okay.
Yeah, this is a really interesting fight because all these teams are, I feel like, under a lot of pressure. Moist because they've got no meds. EXO because they're on the outside edge of this ring. And the same can kind of be said for Emmanuel, who probably are feeling a little bit less of that pressure than the other two. But now some shots starting to go back into A-Flow. You could see there from EXO. So it's still not looking too much fun for any of those teams on the southern side of the map. Not to mention the ring's pulled north.
Let's stick with Moist Esports. I want to see how we get out of this one.
They really need to
I believe.
get out of there as soon as they can. The Valkyrie ultimate's going to need to be used, but I don't know if there's going to be any fantastic spots to use them from. I guess that's one of the other things that changes with no Gibraltars in the lobby, right? Is that you don't have the bubble upon landing, so you have to be a lot more precise, a lot more safe, really, with your Valkyrie ultimates.
Yeah, speaking of which, I've just seen
Hey, Rex.
will absolutely send it into the center of the zone with a Valk ult and land on top of Watson fences, and they're just about to die. We'll see that pop up in the kill feed. They were united up on top of that tower, the Tower of Power, we might call it at this point, because now that the ring has pushed its way in, it's a much more viable spot to play from when teams are not up on these high ground rocks around you, able to get shots on in.
Where'd Valiant go? Are they still in this? They're still in the same fucking house.
Working
Wow.
out quite nicely for Dewa at the moment.
I mean, guess no reason to leave. Or wait, no, that's not
Okay, a
Valiant.
lot of fights are about to go down. There's so many teams. Golden Sage, GQ, as we can see here on the southeast side, who are going to have to start pushing up. MDY, they're the ones in the power position. Oh my lordy, I've just seen Liquid do a 200 spray there with a flat line. They just have such a fantastic position in this Dorito as the teams push into them. Meanwhile, EXO
Oh
up
God,
on the
Jesus
other side,
Christ,
they're
the
trying to
kill
deal
feed
with
just went
SRY.
crazy.
They're trying to deal with
What
a bunch
the
of other
fuck?
teams on top of them. MDY White are going to absolutely demolish this team under them. I guess that was free agents.
Oh, MT got a knock. Hold on, just saw it.
Gonna play up. Hoping they can get that res, but I'm not sure they'll be able to. RWD is farming. It's Shardy over the top. That has done so much damage with that car, and MDY White there.
Okay, MT got one knock there. I don't know if we got a kill out of that though.
Loot boxes for RWD. to work
100 pump
with.
was pretty sweet, but yeah, they couldn't find the armor swaps there. You saw Feiju looking for it, but honestly, it was going to be pretty tough. either
I
way.
cannot
think
believe they
that
actually made it
RWD,
into that building.
fully stacked at that
Holy
point.
shit.
Look, they're not going to be, completely sad about that. I think they went out with 5 kills, but out in 10th place, which means, you're only grabbing.
Hey, thank you for the
4th
raid, Rex.
there.
Sorry, I just saw that.
Okay, the tower is
Thanks
not
for
going to be in the
resub.
final circle, so this
Ooh.
will be a little bit different to last time. This one's actually going to favor a team like Truth Esports, who are sitting on the north and can very much just hold the rocks. You can see they're just trailing shots into the rest of the team here, into the rest of the teams.
Yeah, I mean, Truth will be.
We
very
don't have
happy
to get
because
crazy
they
with it. We can just
have to
play
go down to
for
the north.
position.
Zones headed in their direction. It makes their life a little easier than the last zone that they had to play out towards Overlook. 505 were the winners of that, and once again, making a pretty deep run. We can see them here on our screens.
He's Resub Killer
Full health,
in the
full
prime.
shields. Well, not quite
Val
full
and
shields at the
Resub
moment,
Donovan.
but they will be fine.
Where are we at? Where are we at?
To work with.
Jaro,
Top
down.
Taylor United having now
Good,
come
good, good,
off
good.
Of the tower. Have unfortunately lost a couple of members. It's on to Bastion to get those reses.
Damn.
Seems as though he has got a brief moment of
Still a good
respite to
down
be
from
able to
Gyro, though.
Do so. Another team flying up into the air as we speak. SRY you saw with that Valk ultimate looking for places to land. They've opted to go straight out toward the
Oh
western
boy,
side
oh
of the
boy,
zone.
this is about to get real
And have
fucking
landed
chaotic.
Actually in the zone. They're going to happen over and they've been hit by a Valk ultimate. This is not looking good for them at all. Truth Esports, really, really chill.
Let's go to Moist Esports.
Yeah, nuts.
relax.
I want to see
He's
us.
very much got
Let me
his
see us.
reticle, drawn onto SRY, who you can see just hiding behind the tiniest little bit of cover there. Trying to hide from the sniper master himself. At least they've got the pylon up, or at least for a second before this car gets rid of it. So they're safe from grenades just for a second. 6 squads left. Moist actually probably the closest to the center of this.
Goddamn
final
right.
circle
They have
here,
no
but
beds.
yeah, they're also in
No
a
flesh mess.
caravan. Yeah, because they're right next to their pylon, right? I think it's already out of shield buffs because they're not getting their shields replenished at the moment. However, as you say, it's almost like they're sitting on white armor in some spaces, in some instances,
Yeah.
because they are so low on their meds.
I mean,
Yeah, they haven't had
purple
meds for the last, like,
but they
20
have
minutes.
No flesh shields at all, and Waltzy is basically a one-shot as soon as his armor is gone. So that's kind of what you're trying to get across there.
Yeah.
They have shield bats themselves, but they have no
God,
shields or
Jesus.
medkits, and they haven't had that for the last, 10 minutes probably.
Damn,
so
they
they're
couldn't
really
even
in an
play
awkward
aggressive
spot
on
here.
that
They're
cross.
just trying to keep their heads down as much as possible.
Yeah.
And let
Well,
all of
probably
these
they
other
didn't need to
teams
play
fight.
aggressive either.
The issue is, of course,
They don't need to
Valiant
frag
is
out
still
here, they
in
just
this
need to have
game.
good
So if
placement.
anyone was to take over Valiant at the moment, it would probably be Moist. But for the fact that Valiant is now starting to farm placement points, and it looks like they're about to farm some kill points here as well. They are feeling confident.
Oh, that
and I
was
think at
bold.
this point
That was
now,
so
they're
bold.
Probably going to take the top of the lobby. Have I spoken too soon? Strafing Flame down, Tanner low, and it's Player K, the only one that has any shields to work with here as Panna does pop that back, gets back up to full HP. Player K gets aggressive, finds a knock onto Pricey, down as a solo.
Okay.
A pylon down here as well. It's
Finish
not
Valiant
happening
off,
for
finish him
Valiant.
off.
It's not
Let's
coming
go.
together. Player K
Good for
is
us, that's good
out.
for us.
Does that open the door up? Maybe.
MT, down,
Moist.
good.
They
MT
were
got it
the
down.
other kill leaders until all of that happened.
Come on, baby.
Truth
Come on,
actually
baby.
pulling down there from the north, seeing if
Squeak
they
it
can
out,
take advantage of
boys.
The situation, but it's a little bit too late, so they go back up to their domain.
And you doubted the
That
out of
said,
bounds
4
strat.
squads left. Moist, just trying to do
Oh,
what
God.
they can. They have to be so careful because any
Oh,
flash
God.
damage they
Oh,
take
God.
like that is just
Oh,
going to be
God.
enough to put Jarrow on the floor. Now we've got Boogie Borders down at the south and
Oh, Waltzy
we've got
down
Truth
too.
up at the north. It feels like those guys are really the
okay.
ones we're looking out for in this final circle.
That's alright.
SRY down. It is just the 3 remaining teams. Boogie Borders are a duo. Truth are a trio. And Moist, I think they're a duo as well. So this is starting to get...
No, it's not a duo,
into
it's
the
just
thick of
one.
Things, and Truth Esports definitely look like they're
Just
the
one
team to
left.
walk away with it. Good shots coming through from Mosu on the Valk up in the air.
Hang in
So
there.
3 squads alive.
Oh,
Two
empty down,
now.
damn.
It is going to be
Damn.
Truth Esports.
Hey, I think that's
who
still
walk
good
away
enough.
with the final game of the day.
I don't think that's first
They've
place though.
done enough to get
It might be
themselves
close.
up into a top spot.
Definitely
I
top
wonder.
5 for sure
They
though.
were
So we're good. We're fucking
12th
good.
going
We're
into
set.
That game. It got pretty close.
Alright, I already know the leaderboard updated.
Moist in 3rd.
Oh yeah, we take that. Okay, second place. Yeah, we'll fucking take that. That's nice. That's clean. Had a couple rocky instances, but overall second place. That's just fine. Hey, thanks for the prime, MT. Good shit out there. That was a wild rotation last game. Yeah, that shit was huge. Full cross country in the storm. Huge. He's the Prime Ninja. And they give some Hangman and Tier 1 Jaro. Good shit, Jaro. Fuck yeah. And thanks to the Prime Sleeve. Oh man, alright. I got a little nervous. I was getting a little scared. But I had no reason to fear. Is it for the night? For this one, yeah. I think the next one is 2 weeks. I'm pretty sure. Same fucking time, bright and early at midnight. So, I'm nice and wide awake for it. All my neurons firing at optimal efficiency. The way we like it. Thanks to the resub load. Next is the 12th. Oh, so it's next week. Oh shit, that's even quicker than I thought. I don't mind staying up till like 4 though. As long as we're getting those big dubs. Thanks to resub Jazzin. Yep, 2 stream crashes, but we stayed strong at the end. It only crashed 2 times. And then we got a good 2.5 hours. So we had our own little battle we were fighting with my computer and its reluctance to stay on. Oh man.
And Moist, I think they were kind of just hiding away for as long as they could before joining this fight, but ultimately they just didn't have enough firepower as a duo to overwhelm Truth, who really didn't lose too much in that engagement against Wooly Quarters. And here's the placement timeline, as you can see. It was Wooly Quarters that actually did end up taking 2nd place in that one. And Moist taking 3rd, SRY 4th, as we said, Valiant in 5th. The fact that Valiant got through into 5th, I think, has done enough to keep them.
Oh, this is I was really confused on what this was showing me. Because it goes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a weird way of reading it.
A solid finish off to the day, considering it really was that
Thanks
first
to resub.
game that put them on
Mally
our
and Tier 1
radars,
Candy.
in the you know the position to take out our first.
Having
series
sex with
here
your mother
in
isn't that bad.
ALGS Year 3.
Yeah,
And obviously that's a
amen,
good start,
Morgan.
definitely, but there are still many more weeks.
Yeah, that was good.
to-
We will take 2nd place there. That's a good start. That's strong. Is it November 12th though for sure? I want to make sure I don't get the date wrong. Yeah, okay, cool. November 12th, we go again. Next stop, 1st place though, by a wide margin. I'm thinking like triple digit points, easy 100 points for sure, bare minimum. Alright, thanks to the gift sub, Cyro. Hopefully I can get the computer issues fixed for tomorrow, so we won't have so many goddamn stream crashes. Good shit, Waltzy. I didn't see you in the chat till just now. Good work out there. You boys were looking great. Also, hopefully next time we'll have the command center ready so I can actually just follow the team the whole time instead of just like the overall. That'd be nice, but I'm not sure. I'm not positive. It would be nice though. Thanks for the gift sub, Jolyn. Alright everyone, thanks for tuning in. Everyone who donated, big thanks. New subs, welcome aboard. Sub means a lot. Thanks for subbing. Enjoy the emotes and have a great rest of your evening. I will see you all tomorrow. Let me see. Who's streaming? My following list doesn't want to update. How very cute. Okay, no raid. I'm sure you guys will find someone to go watch in the meantime. See you tomorrow. Have a great night. Bye-bye.